Great. And then I'm also going to record here as well too. Let's just make sure. Just because I never want to mess this up. So that's primary. I believe it's this. Let's see here. We have double recording going on. Great. So when I make mistakes, it is all documented. That is perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take a look in here right inside this chat section for a minute. If everybody can do me a favor, go inside the chat section. This is going to be interactive. Can you please go ahead and type in here, yes, I can hear you, Kurt. By the way, one of my guys that I run webinars with, his name's Shecky. It's awesome because what Shecky will do, everybody do me a favor, make sure if you just joined, make sure you hit this little mute button you see at the top here with this great presentation that I have designed for you. You see the red arrow, there's a little button right there, click on mute. Great, says I can hear you. It's funny, so I'm going to go ahead and type this. If you cannot hear me, let's go ahead and allow this. All right, if you cannot hear me, click on the phone icon like on the screen, and then someone's moving around. So if you can do me a favor is also make sure you click on the mic to mute you. I have no universal way of muting yourself out. And if I hear you talking in the background, I will say your name and say, please go off mute. So sometimes being embarrassed can help your business a little bit, but let's not go that way. Okay, I think that's good. So a couple people said they can hear me. So I have, yes, I can hear you, yes, I can hear you, yes, I can hear you from 3 people. And I know there's more than that on the call. So by the way, you must participate in your own success, meaning that tell me that you're present, tell me that you're here, and I can help you look over your ads as well too. So I think that's it. So Damon, we're just going to go ahead and rock and roll. I think that's it. Okay. Now what I do need to see though is I'm really curious is, well, let me just pull up the presentation first. And let's move from here. Move this over to the side. All right. So we're actually going to spend a lot more time than just 90 minutes. We're going to talk about creating messages that pull new people in, the underground way I like to run some like campaigns. This is really going to be more about retargeting, how to gauge the effectiveness of your avatar that you're targeting, and then how to get your first leads quickly or maintain and really scale leads as well too. We're going to talk about how to analyze your ads for maximum profit, setting up and automating your assets. And then I know we're going to have a second call here in a week or 2, if I'm right, which I'll give you some more kind of spreadsheets, how I track my funnel and stuff like that. This is really, I tend to talk fast because I have a lot of information to cover. But I also want to make sure that everyone receives value from this call. So we're going to kind of learn at your pace. I'm going to be asking you questions. I'm going to be asking you questions along the way, just to make sure I'm gauging your experience and making sure that we're focused on exactly what you want to learn. We're going to also give you some understanding of Facebook compliance, and most importantly, we're going to give you some very proven processes we've gained to our $5 million in ad spend. All right. I always like putting this up here. You can crush it. Lots of our students do, and I just love the crushing beer sign logo, and it doesn't appear difficult at first, and then it kind of jumps all around. You know, I'm going to give you the #1 secret of running ads, and it's going to sound super, super, super simple, but I swear to you, this is one of the biggest tips I can give you. These two. So make sure, like, you get out, write this down. This will make you $1 million, and I'm not joking. Write this down. 2 things. Ready? #1, be consistent. Write it down. I'm not joking. Write it down. Second one, don't stop. That's it. If you do those 2 things and apply everything else that I'm teaching you, you'll make money with your ads. What most people do is they stop and overanalyze, which means they never get started again, and they start and stop so much they have no consistent way of actually telling what the numbers actually are. I mean, I've even talked to someone last week that spent $2,200 on Facebook, made $30,000, and their cost per lead went from $9 to $11, so they shut off their ads. So they never doubled their money, but they just stopped because they thought their cost was rising. Like, if you put in $1 and make 6, if you have to put in 2 to make 6, it's not that big a deal, right? But she would figure that out if she was keeping consistent. So make sure that you stay consistent. So I know you're working with Todd, so I know that your funnel doesn't look this way because that's not what Todd teaches. But I'm really kind of curious, and I want to know how many people are listening and paying attention. Go ahead and type in that chat box right there. How many people feel that your Facebook ad traffic is looking like this? So actually give me 1 or 2 answers. Are you running Facebook traffic? Say, I'm running Facebook traffic and it's highly organized, or I'm running Facebook traffic and it's not organized. Just tell me. I just need to know the learning spot. So again, not running Facebook traffic yet, not running Facebook traffic yet. Okay, anybody else? I want to make sure that I'm running a Facebook traffic and it's haphazard. I'm running it and it's organized. Ooh, Selma, great job. Okay, good. Again, the more that you participate in this, the better this is going to be for you. Not running Facebook yet at all. Okay, not a problem. So let's break this down. Beginner, tell me if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. Beginner, you haven't run any Facebook leads yet. You're learning about online marketing, online funnels, lead and conversions. Intermediate, you ran under $1,000 in Facebook ads total. You got a basic understanding. Or you've run over $5,000 in Facebook ads and you just showed up to listen to me to get 1 or 2 nuggets of gold. So tell me, where do you rank? Not running Facebook traffic yet. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. I need 2 more answers. Give me 2 more answers. According to the numbers advanced. Okay. All right. I promise every single one of you will have takeaways that you can work, that you can absolutely work into your marketing. All right. So I'm going to have to go 2 different places with this presentation. It's not going to be too bad. All right. I am kind of curious, just so I can use some different analogies. Can you do me a favor? Type in what type of business do you have and what product or service do you want to advertise using Facebook ads? So what type of business do you have? What product or service do you have in advertising your Facebook ads? Type that in there so I can make some references, give you some ideas. Let me know what that looks like. Mental toughness training for athletes, great. That's great, by the way. I know people who are in the triathlon niche, works out very well. Marriage and family, allow 718-682-241 to join. Sounds good to me. It's a great name. Title company, title work. Okay, great. Trading. What kind of trading, Selma? Are we talking stocks, bonds, mutual funds, video product? Are we talking just regular trading, like showing people how to trade stuff? Yeah, stocks trading. Okay, great. Yes. All right, great. All right. Marriage and family therapist focused on couples where their partner had an affair, want to recover. So Peggy, this is going to be a little tricky to advertise on Facebook. You can advertise to married people. You can advertise to people with a family. But what you can't do is you can't advertise anything that would personally identify people or that would have a negative connotation. By the way, I got somebody on here again. If you can do me a favor, take a look at this picture right here. Make sure if you're on the phone, make sure you hit this mute button right here. If you can see my screen, make sure you go to the top left-hand side. There's a little microphone right here. Make sure you hit mute. Can everybody please go to the top of the screen and make sure they do that? Okay, I think that person muted out. Nope, there's still some background noise. So if you just joined the call, whoever just joined, please do me a favor and look at your screen. Please do me a favor and follow my voice and my instructions. Please do me a favor and see that red arrow where there's a little mute button right there. Please mute yourself because everybody can hear the background noise. Awesome. And that is fixed, I believe. Okay. Good. Let's move on. All right. So we're going to put some of these pieces together to you. I'm going to jump around to 2 different presentations. Presentation may be a little bit longer than 30 minutes because I want to make sure I'm covering all the right points in here as well too. All right. And then we'll get your questions answered as well. Basically, we tell everybody, hey, move to a quiet area, take some notes. And we're going to show you how our success can be your success. So yeah, a little bit about myself. We've spent anywhere up to $500,000 a month in Facebook traffic. And the reason that's relevant just means we've tested in a lot of different niches. So when we're able to test into a lot of different niches, well, the main thing is what works really well is we have a whole lot of experience that we can talk about as well too. And let me show you about some of that experience. So, oh, by the way, I always want to add this in. Hey, look, people call me like social media ad genius, which is kind of flattering or weird or whatever you want to call it. Thing is I am no educational genius. I don't even know if I'm using that word in the right context. I did not graduate at the top of my class. I did not have any online experience heading into 2007. What I did have is a requirement to make money because I lost all my money in credit and real estate. And I wanted to find a trade that I could learn on my own, which was running traffic. It wasn't like SEO that I had done before, where I had to push lots of buttons to hopefully, possibly, if it worked with Google, then my SEO would send traffic. I used to wrestle in high school, and what I loved about wrestling versus football or basketball, they still played those sports, but wrestling was a one-on-one sport, and only you were accountable for your results, nothing else. On a basketball team, you can blame somebody else, or on a football team, even though you are still a team. There's still a me and team, right? So what happens is I got into paid traffic because I was tired in the real estate realm. So Lou, I don't mean to offend you on this at all, but you'll know what I mean. Buyers, sellers, agents, title companies, lawyers, everybody wants a piece. Everybody wants to add their own 2 cents. And sometimes people who can't make decisions, nothing really moves. And I wanted to move the needle on my own. So that's really what I've been focused on. So what I'm going to show you is literally straight from the horse's mouth. I mean, we've met with Facebook directly at many different live events. We've talked to them directly. I mean, really, we have a lot of insight into Facebook, plus for the money that we've run on spend. Here's us actually at the Facebook wall in Austin, Texas. Here's us at another Facebook event as well, too. We try to go to as many events as possible. That's me right there. And then we show this to people it's not to brag. It's just to show, well, yeah, we talk about spending money and we actually spend money. And by the way, it's not just that we spend money for clients. We have our own product, Social Media Ad Genius, what I know that some of you have as well, too. I mean, we spent $261,000 on that. Now, keep in mind, a lot of running ads is what someone can relate to is a lot of it's like stock trading. It's really just numbers. It's easier to play when you're playing with other people's numbers. But just to be direct and real with you, is my very first house was $145,000 on a 30-year loan. I spent $261,000 in 8 months. But it's not that I had $261,000 in savings. Heck, we didn't even have $5,000 in savings when we started this. Okay, someone just joined for me. Sorry, everybody, I'm going to have to go through this here real quick. Someone just joined. If you could do me a favor, go ahead and take a look at the top of your screen. Follow the red arrow right here in the second arrow. Go ahead and click on your mute button for me, and that'll mute you on out. So go ahead and click on the mute button for me. All right. Sounds like that person is muted out. Great, 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 great. Now, the moral of the story right here is, we started off with really just a couple $1,000s, and we've spent everything with cash. We don't have any credit cards. Well, we didn't until we started spending more money than they wanted to give us credit cards. But what ends up happening is we started to learn how do we put in $100 to make 101. Now, Todd will say this, and he's great at it. He's like, look, I'll run paid traffic, and I know I might not make money for 60 days because he may put in $1 and make 75 cents today, but by the end of the 30 days, he's put in $1 and made back $1.50. A 50% return on your money, that's pretty good. Where do you get that in the stock market? But because Todd has multiple funnels and he offers additional products, additional services, and affiliate offers, man, once he has his marketing paid for, let's just say he has his marketing paid for over 60 days, right? Puts in $1, makes 50 cents, let's just say makes 50 cents the first month, makes another 50 cents the second month. Most people are like, I can't lose money like that. You're not losing money. You have an opt-in, and after 60 days, the next thing that you send out is 100% profitable. Keep that machine running. Keep consistent. Keep running traffic. That's how we run $261,000 in 8 months. It comes from learning how to put in $1, make that dollar become 75 cents, then 80, then 85, then 90, and then $1. You put in $1, make $1. Now you're breaking even on your marketing, which means you're getting customers for free, essentially. Now, the thing is that I find that all of you are very, very, very fortunate with is Todd is absolutely amazing at the way that he builds out funnels. So on my side of it, if you're running traffic consistently and you never stop, and you're tweaking your funnel, so you're running traffic and you're tweaking your funnel, meaning it doesn't have to be perfect, but you're extending it. You're sending out another offer. You have another product. You're extending it. This is where you can spend $261,000 and make $1 million in a year. right? It just takes time to build that momentum and snowball, and we're going to walk through that as well too. Then I tell everybody this is all about full exposure. So what we do is we really take this in steps. So let me show you a basics. Facebook sales funnel. Okay. So what this really is attention online, and then I'll show you our 7-step process that's worked really well for us. Is we grab attention online with Facebook. Now, with Facebook, it's really important to remember is this is disruptive marketing. So we want to make sure that we're very congruent with our avatar to grab their attention, because we're going to be targeting the right people through our targeting. However, we got to make sure that our copies and images are correct. Gone are the days of typical advertising where it's, hey, add a shock value that can catch people's attention. Now you can target people so closely with Facebook is you have to make sure your ads are relevant to them in Facebook. Okay, so let's go over a short little history lesson. This is super important to understand. So here's kind of the Facebook past, present, and future. So here's the old Facebook, which you can obviously tell is very different from the new Facebook here. This is a good friend of Todd Mines is Ryan Levesque, showing his book #1 Ask, and then some of our ads right here. So this would be a news feed ad or the right-hand side. Well, the way that market research used to work, it would be that there would be focus groups. So a bunch of people would gather in a room, they'd start asking questions. What do you think about this product? What do you think about this idea? There's all these different marketing types. So two-way focus groups, dual monitor, dually monitor, respondent, like there's all these different ways to get people's opinion. Here's the problem though. The problem is, the fundamental difficulty with the focus group and other forms of qualitative research is the issue of the observer dependency. So it's always up to the observer's interpretation of what's going on. And look at it this way. If we're going to start a focus group and we want to sell a widget, we're going to ask people feedback on that widget. Let's just say it's 20. Actually, let's just say it's 100 people, right? That's a good split out. Heck, let's even say it's 200 people, right? So 200 people, we ask questions about this widget. Okay, great. So that makes perfect sense. Well, the thing is after that, what happens is, whoops, sorry about that, I jumped ahead in the slide. The problem is what happens is after you've interviewed 200 people, heck, even 500 people, now you go out and you sell that widget. You could sell that widget. Let's just say we sell 10,000 widgets. Well, out of 10,000 widgets, we only interviewed 500 people. So out of those 10,000 people, some people are going to use it, some people are going to not, some people are going to hate it, some people are going to love it, some people are going to use it for things that we had no idea it could be used for. And customer service, you're going to get some phone calls. Let's just say 500 phone calls. I'll make up that number. So we've gotten feedback from 1,000 people, 500 from our focus group, 500 from customer service. But wait a minute, there's 9,500 people out there out of our 10,000 widgets we never heard from. So the reason that marketing is so different on Facebook is because even with Facebook growth, and this is an 8% growth, by the way, so even though it looks like just a little bit of growth, the thing is Facebook is always learning from our marketing. It's like having a focus group that's going on 24 hours a day. So a lot of the old marketing techniques that would work, typically in traditional print, direct mail, online advertising like on Google, it's very different now. For the main reason is Facebook is able to tell every customer interaction. Now, what we're going to get into in just a little bit is with conversion pixels and some others, Facebook can tell how much time that you spend on Facebook, obviously, but also where you go, what things that you click on, what you like to see in your news feed, what you don't like to see. It's like a 24-hour focus group. So Facebook only wants to serve ads specifically to people who are relevant in that conversation. So it's really easy to put it this way. What happens is the following. Facebook wants ads. This is very important. I'd write this down, and I'd circle this and write it like on a Post-it note so you can hang it up in front of your computer so you can constantly reference this. Facebook wants ads that improve the user experience. Again, Facebook wants ads that will improve the user's experience. Not, hey, check this out, click here. Facebook wants people to know when they see the ad what's going to happen on the other side of the ad. I'm going to get into those specifics here in a little bit and give you some detailed examples as well too. So let's talk about Facebook marketing in its present. Now, what we have is an average of 21 minutes a day is spent on Facebook. One of the experiments I like to tell people to do is when you go out in public, just look around, restaurant, on the train, in a taxi cab as you're driving down the street. Watch how many people's faces are staring at their phones. 745 million daily mobile users on Facebook, right? 1.189 billion monthly mobile users. Here's what's important to remember. 30% of your Facebook audience is going to only log on to Facebook by looking at their phone. That's critical. So mobile is going to be a really big, important part of your strategy as well too. The other thing is, remember this, most of your competition will never do videos. Even if it's an iPhone video that's 30 seconds long, I'll show you some examples here in a couple of minutes. Even if it's an iPhone video that's 30 seconds long, a video itself will help build rapport with your customers. They feel like they get to know you. And if someone's staring at a mobile phone and they have their headset in and they're listening to video, or they're listening as they're going down the newsfeed watching videos, this can be a great way for you to connect with your audience that I'm telling you, lots of your competitors currently are not doing. By the way, 200 million people use Facebook Messenger. The unique thing about Facebook Messenger is they're going to start showing ads in it very soon. You can now download Facebook Messenger without actually having a Facebook account. So Facebook wants to connect people with Messenger, which is kind of like a, inside of Facebook, almost like a text messaging. They also have video calls that are coming out. You can start doing video calls now for many people who are listening to this call. So Facebook really wants to connect people, but here's the thing. People may or may not notice this. When you download Facebook Messenger, inside the terms of use, they can actually look at your contact database, who you called, who you've texted, even the geolocation of your phone. So though this is creepy, here's for targeting. You can target people, which I'll show you, in a local area when their cell phone enters that local area. Now, what's a little creepy is if you go to an event where you don't know anybody and you take your phone and it's logged into Facebook, if you're at that event for a couple of hours, you will see friend suggestions from some of the people in that room over the next 48 hours. A little creepy, but that all comes from Facebook Messenger, and it's really just Facebook collecting more data. By the way, the average time that people pick up a phone during the day just to look at it, 150 times a day. 150 times. No one picks up a newspaper 150 times. So we are going to be talking about mobile. We're also going to be talking about desktop as well too. But inside of Messenger, there's going to be a buy now button that's going to come out so people can easily start clicking and buying directly from their Messenger as well too. One of the things that I'm going to give you as a tip, right now, Facebook is really trying to beat up on YouTube. They're trying to prove that people will watch more videos and get more video content off of Facebook than they do on YouTube. So I strongly suggest, if you're going to post to your fan page, if you're going to promote a video, click on this embed video and embed the video that you have on Facebook, embed that on your website. Okay? If you're doing any videos at all, upload your video to Facebook, and if you want to do YouTube, but upload the video to Facebook and click on embed video and embed that video on your website. The reason is website visitors can like your fan page from it, and Facebook is really rewarding people for doing it. So one of those small little details that can make a big difference in your business. Now, coming out soon, Facebook's going to come out with an analytic platform. They haven't released it. They've been talking about it for a couple of months. I've been mentioning it for a couple of months. Yes, you can run reports on Facebook, but they don't have a true analytic dashboard, very much like what you would see in Google Analytics. But that is something that is coming out very, very, very soon. Also, one of the things, this actually has recently just come out, is you're going to be able to tell how long people watch your videos. Many people now listening to this call are able to upload videos, and in the back of their fan page, so if you go to the back of their fan page and you look at reports, you go ahead and click on the post with a video, you will see how long people watch videos. Now, I want to give you a little inside track on videos. Again, this is just very quick before we start running some of that, talk about some of the campaigns. Your videos ideally should be 30 to 60 seconds long to build rapport. This could literally be as something as, hi, my name's Kurt. I saw that you clicked on my website. I have so much information to offer you. I would love to tell you more about Facebook marketing. Go ahead, click the link after the video, and I'm going to give you my free ebook to show you how to do some Facebook marketing or some easy ways to do Facebook marketing, right? For people just seeing my face and hearing my voice, that can really help my brand as people see it over and over. But I want to show you something that most people don't realize. What happens is see, these are the second marks in the video. Second 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 17 seconds, okay? Autoplay on cell phones, you know, when you scroll down, autoplay on cell phones happens in 3 seconds. So you're going to see a lot of people watching, and then it dips for after 3 seconds, okay? That's just because the autoplay feature on mobile. What you want to figure out is how long are people watching. So in this case, after 50% of the video, right here, right, over 50% of the audience was still watching. Great. So you can tell if your videos are too long, if people are watching them or not. Now, I grabbed this screenshot right off of a Facebook example. What I love about this example, this video is only 12 seconds long. So most of the times you would see a big drop. Facebook purposely only put a 12-second video up here, so you wouldn't see a huge drop and it looked like people watched the video longer. But you can tell even after 16 seconds, only half the people who started watching the video watched past 16 seconds. Okay? But take a look at those analytics, especially if you're uploading videos. My suggestion is 30-second to 1-minute videos are great as you're building rapport. You can use for some retargeting. I'll use 2 to 3-minute videos every once in a while if I want to educate my audience. So for instance, Todd Brown and I, we've done a webinar before, and I wanted to teach people about retargeting before our webinar. So I recorded a 3-minute video talking about retargeting. A 3-minute video is fine because I'm building brand awareness for an event that they've already registered for. However, I would not use a 3-minute video to help get me leads because people just would not watch it. Now, I am really curious. Go ahead and type in the text. Very, very curious. How many people here have used any video marketing in their marketing? Depends how much time I'd spend on this because I have a couple other slides. Yes, tons. Great. All right. Anybody else? Does anybody else besides Craig? Yes, that's what I do. Oh, perfect. A bit we have. Some not much. Okay, great. So here's my feedback. And I always say this, and it's kind of funny, but it's true. Whatever people's issues have, mommy didn't love me, daddy didn't hug me, grandpa didn't buy me a pony, like whatever that is, they don't record videos because they feel that they're not, whatever, self-worthy, people aren't going to like them, their hair is not right. That's your competition. So please remember, anytime that someone can see your face and hear your voice, even for 30 seconds, can dramatically affect conversions, especially as you target people as they move through your funnel. You're building a relationship. And Facebook is rewarding people that are using videos right now. So if you've considered it or you've used videos, Craig, you're saying you're doing this on YouTube? Man, you can kill it on Facebook in a positive way. You can kill it on Facebook. The reason is because Facebook is really, you have 200 videos on YouTube. That is awesome. Facebook really wants to beat YouTube in a big way right now. So exploit that. That's great. That's great to hear those answers. Good. Okay. Now there we go. Let's talk about the good and bad about Facebook. Now, a couple of things, and I'm going to walk you to show you through on how to do this as well too. But is it only live action videos that work? You can test it. They don't have to be live action videos. They can be cartoons. We've run hand-drawn cartoons as well too. It really just comes down to testing. Here's what I found. People want to be entertained by Facebook. So if I have a 30-second or a minute entertaining video that when they're standing in line at the bank waiting for somebody and they have their earphones in and they're just kind of scrolling down Facebook and they just want to watch it, quick video, and they just happen to click on yours, that's what I think is perfect. So whether it's a cartoon or a couple of still pictures, as long as it's entertaining and capture their attention, it's one of the best ones that you can use. So Facebook has unprecedented targeting. I mean, you could analyze your list, your fan page, your audience, your conversion pixels, which we'll get there in a minute, target people by their buying habits. I mean, there is no other targeting. With Google, you target based on keywords or phrases that people may be searching on or that are related terms. But Facebook knows has this person purchased green smoothies in the last 6 months? So it's a little creepy, but you can really narrow down on your targeting. So here's one of the reasons that we love Facebook, and I'm going to dive into this just a little bit more. I am curious, how many people here have used Audience Insights? This is where you can go in, pick out some keywords, or you can analyze your fan page, or you can analyze your email list, and you can figure out what's the makeup demographic of men, women, page likes, location, what activities do they take, what have they purchased in the past, how many people in their household. Never tried it. I've tried, seems complicated. Okay, Sam, I'm going to walk you through that. Never used, no, just starting. Okay, great. What we're going to show you how to do in the Audience Insights is we're going to show you how to find your perfect avatar, okay? And I'm going to show you where to find it and look it up. This is one of the great things with Facebook, because you can figure out, okay, my avatar is 30 to 55, let's just say, and they're married, right? You know, we would scroll down and say, one of their interests, which I'll show you, they're married. Great. And they live in San Diego. Okay, even better. So basically what would happen is we can start picking out our perfect avatar. We hit save, and this will save our audience so we can target to our perfect avatar, right? Instead of trying to like figure out 1 or 2 keywords or interests, we can really jump into, okay, what are these people made of? So, all right, we're going to go through that. Now, here are the other things. Facebook for our targeting, whoops. We can target purchase habits, people who purchased something on Facebook in the last 90 days. We'll start being able to target inside a messenger. Facebook's really the fastest way to produce a quantifiable test. You know, you can do some SEO stuff, which could take a couple of days or weeks or 90 days or a couple of months. Facebook, you can really start getting some quantifiable targeting in the first 3 days, okay? And I think probably more on our next call, I'm going to walk through, just because of the level that everybody's at right now, I'm going to walk through the charts and the reports that we use to really start producing a quantifiable test. Here's the problem that we have right now, is the bad thing about Facebook is there's over 2 million advertisers. Well, that's great. The problem is customer service is in a complete overwhelm. Facebook judges you by modeling. That means there's an algorithm that will actually look through and judge you based off what other people have done. So if you use certain key phrases, if you use a website or a landing page that lots of other people will do, people kind of, it's almost kind of like racial profiling. And I know I'm going to say that in a loose term. But it's like, well, wait a minute, I'm being judged for some words and an image that I have that's similar that someone else used. So we got to be really careful of the stuff that we're typing in too, right? I don't want this to scare you. I want to inform you. Facebook, unfortunately, does not have time to review your individual business model. So it's really important that the way that we write our ads is very congruent to the user that we're targeting. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of written documentation for the Facebook ads, and there's almost no way to call and talk with anyone consistently in customer service. And unfortunately, Facebook uses a lot of canned responses, and then they'll disable accounts or ads will get declined without any reason. So we tell people is you can always write into Facebook and ask for an explanation. Always ask very pleasantly. They have the option if they want to choose to respond to you or not. But if we just do the things the right way for the most part, we're not going to have any problems whatsoever. So please make sure, and I know this is pretty much common sense, but I just always want to add this in here. Please, please, please make sure that you go to terms of use and make sure inside of that, make sure inside of the terms of use, I don't know why that jumped back like that. Read over the terms of use very carefully, please. Very, 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 very important. Very important. And really the reason is because, well, we want you to make sure that you're doing the right thing. Okay? So read this over. We read this about once a month. Very important, changes all the time. Please read it. It's not a long read. All right. Let's talk about compliance versus policy for just a second. Very important to understand. Compliance is, in general, compliance means conforming to a rule such as a specification, policy, or standard law. So when I talk about compliance, I'm talking about the letter of the law. Now, the next thing, though, is policy. Policy is like a cop. So policy is a deliberate system of principles to guide decisions. So you have compliance and you have policy departments, two different people. One person's going to write the law, The other person is going to try to interpret it the best they can. But let's be honest, cops are not lawyers. Now, for Facebook policy, there's not actually a roundtable of people that generate policy. What happens is they're looking at the focus groups of everyone, how they're participating online. They're getting user feedback, modeling, user testing, platform testing, user engagement. You always want to be thinking with that Post-it note, like I said, on your computer, how am I contributing to the avatar I'm targeting to? How are my ads improving the Facebook experience? Because this algorithm pretty much learns everything from Facebook. And that's really what Facebook policy is. It's Facebook's watching 24/7 every action that people are taking. So here's a couple of things that's working for us. Here's me in a magazine called What's Working Now. So what is working for us? Video, 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 cold and retargeting. I'm going to show you some of those tips here coming up and answer your questions. Retargeting the entire funnel from acquisition to post-sale. Todd Brown does this very well. I'm going to go over that for you as well. And then conversion audience pixels, lookalike audiences, longer posts and stories. I'll give you some Facebook compliance and insight and ad reps and public info. Blogs, retargeting, and follow-up. So I'm going to give you the whole way of how we do our targeting. By the way, one thing that's really good for everybody to read here, there's no opt-in or anything else. Facebook wants you to advertise with stories. What Facebook does not want is click on this link to find out how you can improve your marriage. What Facebook wants is like a quick little story. Having a great marriage is all about communication. Sometimes after years of marriage, the communication may stop. One of the best ways to reignite communication is to follow these 10 simple steps. Okay, so they're going to take 10, they'll click on the link and then they'll find their 10 steps, right? We want to tell a story. We want to target people so it's very congruent. Go to social, write this down, take a screenshot, go to socialmediaadgenius.com/FB-ad-study. This is a report that Facebook put together on, actually it was an agency that put together a report for Facebook talking about what works best for people to engage with your ad. So this is pretty important. This isn't really shared with a lot of people. It's something we found online a while back ago, like deep in the bowels of the Google. Make sure that you, of course, write down that link too. Actually, you know what? I believe, let me see if I can do this here real quick. I believe if I go, make copy. There we go. There we go. All right, so there's that study. Now let me see here. There's about 4 things I want to cover in here. All right, let me switch over to this. Now, I know I'm going to run over a little bit in time, but I just want to ask everyone's permission, and I want to ask everybody, so far, is this making sense? Is this beneficial for you? Is this aligning with some of the things you're doing? You know, please give me some feedback because I want to make sure that you are getting the most amount of value out of what I'm doing here. Yes, absolutely. Oh, yes, great. Okay, good, 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 good. All right. So that is great. Okay, great. Yes, absolutely. Okay, good, 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 good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let me give you a couple things. This is going to be kind of basic. And then, you know, depending on what the time is and any of your questions, I'm going to jump into a little bit more of the advanced stuff. But here's some of the basic stuff that I want to go over with you. And again, give me feedback along the way. Like, I'm not, this is your time. I was asked to be here. Todd is, you know, a great individual. I love to support him any way he can because I know he says the same thing for me, and I got a ton of respect for him. So this is, you know, I mean, and I know that you've paid to be here as well too. So this is your time. So if I'm talking fast, if you want me to go over a point again, if you want to say, hey, Kurt, this is a lot of information. I got some questions now. Just type in. This is your call, and I want to make sure you get the most value out of it as possible. Now, Facebook will basically say, hey, look, here's what you do. You create a page, create engaging content, advertise, target, and measure, which is pretty much the simple ways to run stuff, right? So you're going to create your own page, facebook.com, pages/create.php, which pretty much you can go to Google and say create a fan page, right? It doesn't really matter if you click on local business, company, organization, brand, or product. It'll kind of walk you through the steps, okay? That's pretty easy. But what we want you to do is create a cover image that has bright pictures, that's not a whole bunch of information on marketing. This should be like a US Today headline, right? This is like when you walk past the, those little kiosks that sell newspapers, and you look inside, and there's the headline right at the top, right? You want a really good headline. It doesn't have to be a lot of text. One of the easiest things you can do to look for examples, you can go to one of my favorite places called the Google, which I'm pretty sure everyone's heard about it, right? And type in Facebook cover images and then click on images. It gives you tons of them. Even if you say Facebook marriage images, Facebook wedding images, Facebook stock trading images, it'll give you a lot of other ideas. Or, of course, I'm sure everybody's heard of it, go to Fiverr.com. People can make you some just great images. It doesn't have to be a headline. You're not selling anything up here. It's just, a big image that you could change every 2 weeks, whatever you want to do, but make sure it looks like more like a headline, okay? You also want to make sure that you're going to add a profile photo right here that fits. And here's what I mean by that. So right here, you can see this little Ad Genius guy, right? This is what we have for our logo, and people can see it. What so many people try to do is they try to fit in their personal logo that has a bunch of words. You can't really see what that is in the little thumbnail right here. It's a small little tip, but it's a huge one. So make sure whatever your photo is going to be, make sure it represents something about your company that people can easily identify you from. We don't usually change this icon at all. This is a good, big, open picture. It can be your logo. It could be a picture of a tree. It could be a picture of a family, but something that's easy to stand out and it can be clearly seen in the news feed. Now, this is going to sound simple, but this is so big. Make sure that when you have your fan page, if you have it now, click on the About Us section, fill in every single spot that you see, everything, as much information as possible. Facebook will actually judge your account based off the information you have filled out there. See, there is so much fraud in Facebook that Facebook is trying to remove fraud at a huge rate. People with fake profiles, people who just put up a fan page to run a bunch of junk traffic. Like, it is a huge deal to Facebook. Well, what a lot of people also don't do, and you'll hear me say this a lot if you've ever heard me give talks, no one does anything consistently ever. But those that do typically win. So I know I am not the best speller by any means. I also know that I misspeak the English language all the time, even though it is my first language, all the time. But what I do know is I am very consistent. And lots of people say, man, Kurt, how are you able to accomplish fill in the blank? Well, really, people see the overnight success story that took 5 years to create. I was just 5 years consistent when other people were not paying attention to what was going around and was always changing their mind. So I use consistency to outperform my competitors. Here's a perfect example. If you fill out all of this information, most of your competitors don't. Facebook will judge you when you're running ads of how relevant your fan page is. Fill out all the information that you can about your fan page. I can't say that enough. Most people won't, and most people won't be able to find pages in Facebook search, but this really is going to help out your paid traffic as well too. Now, the other thing is with Facebook posting engaging content. Unfortunately, even Facebook talked about this beginning in January 2015. Only about 2% of your fans are ever going to see your posted content. However, I strongly suggest you post content, if not once a day, at least every other day. Very important. So at least every other day, you should be posting something on your business page. Now, that can be content, that can be a blog article. What you're really trying to do is connect with your avatar to provide them some additional provide them some additional information. That can be fun, that can be funny. That does not have to be you selling something all the time. So write this down. I don't usually give this out a lot unless people buy our program. It's something we call the 10 by 4 by 1 method. So I'm going to put that here in the text box. It is 10 by 4 by 1. Now, what that basically means is 10 fun, exciting posts, funny insights, pictures, really nothing to do with your business. You can a little bit if you want, right? So you're going to post 10 posts that are just fun and exciting. Whether you do, so this is a total of 15 posts, 10 by 4 by 1, right? Whether if you do 15 posts over 6 weeks or 15 posts, well, you shouldn't do 15 posts over 6 weeks. Sorry, bad example. If you do 15 posts over 15 days, or if you do 15 posts over 5 days, 10 of those 15 posts are going to be fun and exciting posts, right? 4 posts will be informative, like a blog, video about a tip or you or your business, right? So these are posts that are informing people. Now, 1, selling. What happens is so Facebook doesn't serve many organic posts to your audience because most people are like, buy now, buy today, you can buy tomorrow, buy now, buy now, buy now, and people get annoyed from it. So what you do is you find what I do. I'm going to give you a very simple tip. Don't tell anybody I'm going to show you this because this is super top secret. I can't believe I've shown this to just a couple of people before. But like I said, this is, if I can find where, aha! All right. Check this out. All right, if I go to, second, you can't see this because it's in a different screen. We will in a second. All right. Here we be. All I do is I go to, let's move this over, Google Alerts. This will help you out so much. Google Alerts. And what I do is I type in, for instance, Facebook marketing. So what happens is every single day, I get emails on the keyword Facebook ads, Facebook marketing, and Facebook. These are all the latest stories that are coming out about Facebook, Facebook ads, or Facebook marketing. So you may find stories on relationships, marital advice, marriage advice, relationship advice, stock trading tips, most important stocks, new stock. I'm just curious, how many people here have used Google Alerts before, where they set up Google Alerts so they get content? Like, this is a great way to get content. How many people here, if you can type in the chat section, how many people here have used Google Alerts? Yes, use Google Alerts. That's great. Yes. Nope, it's a great tip. Good, 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 good. Here's the other thing. Yep, okay, good, 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 good. But only to track my stuff. Yeah, that's good. So, yes, use it. Great, 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 great. But not as effectively the way you are. Not a problem. Here's the thing, kind of the other trick. If you're using, all right, this is another inside secret. So funny. I say inside secrets, but it's like it's kind of common sense. But so many people inside of my tribe for social media, Ad Genius, and our products, they're like, oh my goodness, Kurt, huh, you have so much up-to-date information. Like, man, you must just really read up on this stuff. Thank you so much for keeping us up to date. Well, actually, I just get 3 Google Alerts a day, and then I kind of scroll on down, and then I just open them up, and I read some of them that I think are interesting. Then I share my 2 or 3 most interesting links over the week. And number one, it's forcing me to keep up to date on my market, what's going on. Second, it makes it look like a market leader because I'm rolling out and talking about stuff as soon as it hits the news waves. So it can be really easy for you. You know, the other thing that we can do as well, too, with this amazing thing called the Google is funny Facebook posts. And then, let's see here. Whoops, hit the wrong button on that. That is here. So search tools, anytime, past month. There we go. Now what you can do is you can find posts or things that people have posted in the last month that rank on Google, or people have written articles that are funny Facebook posts that you can use for those 10 updates. So I hope that makes sense. Like, I use Google Alerts and this Google search for funny Facebook posts. to help build some of my content. It's pretty easy and pretty effective. So let me move back over here to the presentation. All right. Now, another one of the things is, let me move this over just a little bit. All right. So a Facebook update. Facebook doesn't want you to use clickbait. And what clickbait basically is want to find out the best marriage tip of ... The best stock tip you're going to see this year is ... That's because people will click on your ad, great. But then they will go to your website and they will bounce off of your website. So they will go to your website and they'll be like, no, that's not what I wanted to see. And they'll leave. And Facebook wants ads to improve the user experience. So Facebook wants people to read your ad, click on your ad, go to your website, and stay on your website to write, which is really good. So what you want to do instead is write your copy a little bit longer so it's very clear to the people that you are targeting specifically what they're going to click on and what it's going to go to next. Very important. Now, Lou asked a great question. What can you use to post without having copyright issues? Well, here's the thing. You don't really have copyright issues if you're not putting your logo on it. This is a social site. You can share whatever you would like. That's the big difference. If you're using, for instance, Oprah Winfrey's image to sell your product, you will have issues. I have personal friends that have been sued by Oprah. So I'm not saying that's smart. Oprah has a lot of money. They didn't have as much money as Oprah. Not a good deal, right? But Facebook's a sharing site. And if you look on most of these websites that you would find the images, they're going to have a share button. So I right-click, copy, and I share it. So if you want to, you can put the, found on this website if you want to do that. I've never had any issues just sharing regular content meant to be shared. So great question, Luke. Great question. So again, let's make sure our ads are congruent with the people that we are targeting. And when they land on our landing page, they got something that they want to look at. Now, what we have here is our different Facebook types. So we have, let me move this out of the way. Whoops, move this out of the way here as well again too. There we go. All right. So we're going to advertise in the desktop feed, right? This is going to be on someone's computer. We also have mobile ads, which is on the right, which is going to be mobile on their phones. It's going to look a little bit different, and right-hand side ads. Okay, and we're going to test all the different types of ad types out there. Now, what we want to do as well is when we're doing advertising, we want to use Facebook's button that says sign up. So you no longer have to write in your ad, hey, find out more about, you want to know the 5 great ways to improve your marriage. Number 1 is great communication. Number 2 is just spending some time together. I'm going to show you the other 3 great tips that you can have a loving marriage for the rest of your life by just signing up down below. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say, make sure you click this link and sign up here, because that's what these sign up buttons are for as well too. So when you place an ad, Facebook will allow you to put up shop now, book now, learn more, sign up, or download. Really quite easy. So you don't have to tell people what to do because the little buttons down here, Facebook wants you to use these options. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about targeting, and then I'm going to show you how to do it in the Ads Manager as well too. Okay. Here's our 3 main different types, and then I'll probably, depending on questions, either I'll kind of wrap it up and just answer a bunch of questions, or I'll keep on going with the content. Again, completely up to you. It is your night, and I want to make sure you get the most value out of here as well too. So there's 3 different types of targeting. Targeting a core audience, targeting a custom audience, targeting a lookalike audience. Now I'm going to tell you, this is where we get started as core audience. We really make our money though on custom audience and lookalike audience. Really big. So we're going to talk about custom audience, lookalike audience. Craig, can you do me a favor? Can you remind me what your advertising for your niche is? And then I'll bring them up as an analogies as we go through. So if you guys, so I know I've talked about, family, or I've talked about family counseling just a little bit, not as much as on the affair side. Oh yeah, thank you. Mental toughness for athletes. Oh, absolutely. This is going to be great. Absolutely, absolutely. So core, custom audience, and lookalike audience. All right. So let's talk about core audience for a minute. Okay. So core audience. I can target people directly off Facebook based off their interests, location, or demographics. So for example, people who are interested in healthy living. So I know Craig, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, so I've run a marathon before. It's one of these things. I used to weigh close to 300 pounds, and I'm like, I've always wondered what it'd like to be running a marathon. Then one day I'm like, I should just run one and figure it out. So I trained for one. And when I told people overall, they're like, oh my goodness, you had to train for months, which I did. But at the end of the day, like the physical part of it, it sucks. I mean, your body breaks down. But at the end of the day, it really comes down, it's a whole mental game. And if you can overcome that mental part where literally you are drained of endorphins, you are crying, you are depressed, you are wishing that you never ran this race before. These are all natural feelings, by the way, when you run a marathon, if you've never run a marathon before. It all comes down to mental toughness, right? So I can target interest of people, yep, work a ton with athletes like that. Exactly. So what you do is you target people who are triathletes, people who run marathons, people who, for example, what I do is I go to this great place that I mentioned before, the Google, and I type in mental toughness athletes. Well, then what happens is it starts to give me a list of either websites or magazines that would start to talk about that. I type in top athletic, or like marathon magazines. So I can target those interests of where that avatar may hang out. I love going like top 10 magazines in whatever niche, whatever person that I'm targeting, right? Also where they live at, so location, and then demographics, moms, moms, dads, family members, whatever. Behaviors. Now, you know those little cards that you have on your keychain, like it's the Savers Club, Insider Club, whatever that they have, and like even like Walgreens, you swipe that card and it kind of keeps track of points or whatever. That's how Facebook figures out behaviors, because they work with third-party companies that have that type of information. So you can actually find people inside of Facebook partner categories that says, show me people that have spent money on Facebook in the last 90 days, and show me people who have purchased green smoothies. So now I know that I can target people who like healthy living, living in Austin, who are moms, because we have a yoga studio that spend money on Facebook and purchases green smoothies. So my targeting is going to get really good. Now I got to make sure that my ads are really reflective of the people that I'm targeting. Okay? Let me give you an example. So my avatar, spend some good time on who specifically do you want to attract. I know my avatar is into healthy living. I know that she lives in Austin. I know that she's a mom. I also know that she spends money on Facebook and has purchased green smoothies in the past. She could be a really good candidate for my yoga studio if done right. Okay? Well, let's talk about custom audiences, right? I'm going to jump kind of back and forth. I'm going to show you, I'm going to explain it, and I'm going to show you where you can see it at, okay? Custom audiences. So if you have email addresses, let's say you collect email addresses for your funnel, or you go to a trade show and you have email addresses, you can upload those directly into Facebook, and Facebook will match those email addresses, right? Now, remember, they're only going to match it if they list it on their profile. So, for example, the email addresses that we upload, we typically get a 40% match. So, for instance, if you own a title company, for example, and you go out to a realtor event, and all the realtors put in their business card, but their business card goes to their business email address, if that email address is not listed on Facebook, it will not be targeted on Facebook, okay? But again, this is a way that you can target very specific ads. See, what happens is you can target those people directly. So like, for instance, I'm working with a girl who runs a bridal show every year. She can upload all the attendees and then market her bridal show the next year it comes around, which some people plan a wedding for a year. Some people, they've already got married. Some people have already got married and got divorced. But it's the way that you can advertise to people that you have on a list. You can also do inclusion or exclusion targeting, which means, look, these people bought my product. Stop showing my ad to these people. So you can exclude people from your marketing. I mean, that way you're not marketing to customers that you already have. I can't tell you how annoying it is. I know there's a couple of different companies out there that I've bought products from, and they keep advertising for me for their products. And I'm like, why are you guys advertising me? I paid you for over 6 months. Why are you still running ads to me, right? Now, one of the most powerful things that we can build is a lookalike audience. That is where Facebook will actually go out and say, what does this audience look like over here? I bet I can go out and find an audience that's very similar to this. So that's huge. So I'm gonna that's one of our biggest ones out there. So let me show you this lookalike audience. Okay, I'm gonna make this really easy. Now, what happens is we place this little piece of code. And again, depending on time and what everybody else says, I'm going to show you where to get this little piece of code. It's free. You put it on your website. But Facebook starts watching the people that come to your website. Let's see here. Okay, this is great. I need some. Okay, Craig, I'm going to answer that in just a second. That's a great question. So basically what happens is this. There's an old adage that says, hey, wait a minute. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze here for a second. There's an old adage that says, I only want to keep people on Facebook. Facebook rewards people for getting them on Facebook. That is an old adage. That is old information, and here's why. Facebook cannot learn much. Well, Facebook can learn a lot about you on what you click on Facebook. However, Facebook can learn a ton of stuff for you, a ton, by seeing the websites that you go to, how long you spend on those websites, and where you go from there. So Facebook actually wants you to leave Facebook to relevant sites, so Facebook knows more about what you like. See, what Facebook will do is it'll track the people that come to your sites, and you can say, okay, can you do me a favor and go out and find me customers that are more like John? Can you do me a favor and go out and find customers more like Alexis? And instead of you having to narrow down your targeting starts to open up because Facebook starts to monitor who's been to your website, who opts in, who's buying your products and services, and Facebook goes out and finds similar people to that demographic makeup. There's nobody else that does that out there. Lookalike audiences, when you're running consistent traffic, can absolutely be great. It's super important. So, Craig, you mentioned in here too, hey, great stuff, Kurt, I appreciate that. But I'm not going to be getting into this level of detail of Facebook ads when I'm ready to do ads, or you're going to get into it. I'm busy creating funnels. I would need someone to do this for me. So one of the things that I've told people in the past, like for instance for our agency, because it takes a lot of updating, running, and our employees are really smart, and for some reason the smart employees always want to be paid a good wage. We charge $5,000 a month for a minimum of 90 days, and then we ask people to spend a minimum of $5,000 a month so we can get enough quantifiable data to really understand what's going on. So really you're in at 10 grand a month, and then we're going to figure out leads, sales, kind of run it from there, and of course there's no guarantees. We just don't know how your funnel performs. One of the things that I'd suggest for you, Craig, and this is really for everybody else. So Craig, you asked a brilliant question, and I want to give a good answer. So this isn't necessarily, well, I am talking to you, but it's everybody else listening as well too, is you always want to be able to run your own Facebook ads as you're building your funnel. Now, you don't have to run $5,000 a month, but running $50 a day to kind of see where the numbers are, what we always tell clients, we say, look, we're going to run leads to the front end of your funnel. Now, leads are going to opt in. I don't know if they're going to buy. We're going to have to fine-tune that to see if they buy. But you're also going to be fine-tuning your funnel. So, for example, I'm going to spend $50 a day starting out, right? Just an example, $50 a day. Leads are $10. All right. So that means you're going to get 10 leads, or that means you're going to get, spend $50 a day, leads are $10, you're going to get 5 leads a day. Not really quantifiable, but over the next 5 days, you're going to get 25 leads. What happens to those 25 leads? Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a small adjustment. We want to see if we can get those $10 leads at maybe $9 or $8. So we're getting a little more leads each day. But also you're adding on to your funnel because the people have opted in, you're sending them follow-up emails for your products or services, and you're also offering other products and services. So it starts to snowball. I tell clients, look, I'm always going to be pushing on the front end, and we're going to find out how can we get better qualified leads, not always cheaper. How do we get better qualified leads? And once they opt in, what are they doing in your funnel? Are you following up? I can't tell you the 2 different types of customers I see 99% of the time. They'll run a bunch of traffic on the front end, but they're not following up in their funnel. So then they think their funnel's not working, so they stop and they stop getting leads. But they can't test their funnel without getting leads. So one of the things that I'd suggest, and by the way, Craig, we have different options for this. I'm happy to talk about this with you later. But basically what we do is we tell people, hey, look, start it out for yourself just a little bit. Or like, you know, we have different accountability options where it's like, hey, let's walk you through this for a couple of weeks. And then when you choose to hire someone, you know what it takes to scale, ideally what your cost per lead is, and you can really start running stuff. So I don't take it on any clients, for example, inside of the agency. You know, this is different from us kind of going through like the mentorship or the coaching or stuff like that. We don't take anybody in the agency unless they have a performing funnel. Because the thing is, if we just run a bunch of opt-ins into a funnel that they don't get followed up with, they're never going to make any money from it. So it's just really important to keep running consistent traffic to snowball and keep testing your funnel. So Craig says, I have someone doing Google AdWords for me right now on a small scale to generate data. That's great. Based on what you just said, I'm thinking Facebook comes after I break even. Yes. Yeah, Craig, absolutely. I mean, once you're breaking even on your YouTube stuff, right, that's great because now you have your marketing paid for, you're adding to your funnel, and then you slowly start incorporating into Facebook. That's absolutely, absolutely, yes. It's just funny because so many people I talk to, they're like, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. Like, they just get all confused in all the different things they have to do. Instead of, Craig, like what you said, hey, I'm going to work on Google AdWords. I'm going to get this to at least break even. Because if I get a break even, as you do other products and services and offers as well, as you'll make money from it. And then if you can break even on Facebook, now you have 2 places where you're getting leads on a consistent basis that you know is predictable. That's really where the business starts to snowball. So absolutely. Great question, Craig. Thank you for bringing that up. All right, here's a couple of things that we learned from Facebook. Now, here's my 7-step process that I'm going to show you. Okay? And this is really pretty easy. I'll show you some buttons to hit in a couple of minutes. Number 1, we drive likes to our business page. We drive likes to our business page not because we're looking for 10,000 people to like our page. No one cares about social proof. They really don't. It was funny. I was at an event a couple months ago. And there was this 24-year-old kid in there. And he's like, you know, Kurt, I spent money getting likes, and I bought some fake likes. Don't ever do that, by the way, because you want Facebook to create similar audiences. You don't want Facebook to create a similar audience from your fan page that is made up of fake people. It's worthless. And the kid's like, Kurt, people look at social proof. I think it's really important, so I disagree with you. And I go, dude, here's your problem. Your problem's between your own 2 ears. No one cares about your justification of except you. So you bought fake likes and really just destroyed your fan page because you just wanted to be liked by other people. That's cute. Sometimes I'll say things to kind of offend people just a little bit so they'll take action on it, right? I'm like, the reason that you run likes is, I'm going to give you a great analogy. It's like, let's say that we are presenting at an event, okay? Let's just say all of us are on stage, okay? And let's say Damon's in the back saying, hey, come in, watch these guys on stage. Hey, come on, watch these guys on stage. Damon didn't say why. He just said, come watch these guys on stage. So let's just say he brings in 100 people. We'll use easy math. So he brings in 100 people. Great. Now we are on stage and we say, how many people here, I'll just pick one, married. How many people here are married? 40 people raise their hand. Great, 40 people raise their hand. So we tell 60 people, all right, you guys can leave. Now we only have 40 people. And we say, okay, how many people here are happily married? And though you may argue and bicker, you feel that you have a super happy marriage where you have great communication, you love each other, you are passionate, you guys are getting it on a regular basis, like you've got this marriage thing. And let's just say 10 people raise their hand. Great, we have those 10 people leave. We have 30 people left. And then what about if we ask the question that says, hey, how many people are having problems communicating in your marriage and may have had some other issues in the past that have put a strain on your marriage? Again, there is no judgment here, but how many people would like to learn some techniques to improve their marriage that may have a tarnish on it? Let's just say 10 people raise their hand, okay? Those are the 10 people that we want to talk to specifically. That's it. All other 90 have kind of been disqualified. So we're really narrowing it down to that 10. That's really what we're doing right now. And Kurt, we're running a like campaign, went from 70 likes to 1606. That is awesome. Great. Great. See, what we're doing is we're asking questions like, do you like or do you love, right? So for instance, for the family stuff, do you love your family? Like our page for amazing family tips. Do you love your spouse? I didn't say husband or wife. Do you love your spouse? Like us for great communication tips. It's great, right? Really important. So what happens is what you're getting people, like we're standing in front of an audience, we're getting people to raise their hand. Do you like running marathons or love running marathons? Like us. Love having that mental toughness edge? Like us. And maybe it's a picture of someone running. You know, picture's worth 1,000 words. Let the words do more of the talking than your copy has to do for your like campaign. But what this does is this gets people to raise their hand. Now, the people that raise their hand, I know what they're interested in. So when I'm posting engaging posts on my fan page, I know exactly who I'm targeting it to. And then we do promoted posts, which I'll show you in a moment. And a promoted post is really you hit that little boost post on your fan page. You do that once a week for 3 days, because now you're promoting your content in front of the people who liked your page, all the people who raised their hand. And then a dark post. Now, a dark post just means that you're placing an advertisement that cannot be seen on your fan page, but it's advertised to people like it's coming from your fan page. That's it. That's more for next week, okay, or the next time that we meet. We have advertorials, which are basically just a longer ad. It's kind of like if you've ever read Huffington Post, where it may have a paragraph or two about your article, about your story, about what you're doing. To find out more, click here. So it's just giving more information for your person to read over on your ad to click over. And then what Todd Brown is famous for, and I have an example with Todd, is funnel targeting and then retargeting. So it's targeting people in your funnel and retargeting people, you know, serving ads to people that have taken specific actions on your website. Now, I'll tell you, we make a lot of money through funnel targeting. I'll tell you, 99% of the people that I know out there that are doing online marketing screw up their funnel targeting. They just screw up their funnel targeting and their funnel. And I really do mean this in all sincerity. Working with Todd and mimicking and learning his funnel process, you are light years ahead of most of your competition and the other people out there. Throw in some funnel ad targeting when people take specific actions and you run specific ads when they go to specific pages in your funnel can be huge. But I'll tell you, most of the money for us is coming through our retargeting. It's really coming through our different retargeting. So kind of to show you how we do this is we really focus on, okay, who's our avatar? Who's the perfect person that we want to target, right? Who does that work the best for? The second part of that as well too is I go to pages, I go to websites that our avatar may hang out at. So for example, mental toughness. We're talking about triathletes. We're talking about endurance runners. What kind of magazines are out there dedicated to endurance runners? What kind of fan pages are out there to endurance sports? What kind of other unique websites are out there? Like I remember reading something, I think it was in Men's Health, where it's grunge endurance, something like that. It's a 3-day race, and no one knows when the race starts until they get there. It's one of these things like you got to carry a wheelbarrow up the top of the hill, then you pick up a pick shovel and a big old bag of dirt that you have to carry back down the hill, and then you have to dig through the dirt to find this little nugget of gold. Then with the gold, you have to run back up the hill to wash it off, and you don't know if it starts at 2 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning. That's kind of unique. Well, you can advertise to those people for mental toughness. So I find out, where does my avatar hang out at? So I got some ideas for targeting. Now, I'm going to target my likes not to increase social proof, but to find my target audience. So I'm going to laser target with emotional ads. So highly qualified prospect, okay? I'm also going to, and again, based off time, I can show you how to click through this. I am going to use the audience insights. This is going to tell me, it's going to help tell me my demographic. It's going to help tell me some of my interests, what people have purchased in the past of the exact person that I want to target. So if I can dream of who I want, by the way, people who say, Kurt, I sell anybody that's 18 to 65, that's about how much money they make. They don't make really much because they don't really know who they're targeting. If they say, look, Kurt, I'm looking for people who are 30 to 55, people who have ran in events before but really love the endurance side, who have really been training for years, who are really dedicated in buying like new shoes every 6 months because they're so dedicated to the sport, not someone who runs every 3 months. I'm really looking for those people to be my customers. The more clear that you can get on who your avatar is, the more clear it's going to be for you to target and the better success you're going to have. Remember, Facebook wants our ads to improve the user experience. So what I'm going to do is, based off the likes that I target, I'm then going to create engaging content that audience may like. That could be through Google Alerts. That could be going through different fan pages. That could be going through different pages on the web or Facebook to find out where these people hang out. This is going to be really simple. Like pages that your avatar may hang out on. Like as many as you can. Scroll through your news feed. You will find pictures or images that your thumb will just stop on. That's the kind of content that you're going to use for your Facebook posts. Okay? Whether it's your Facebook post or your Facebook ads, look at the reason that you stop on the ad, the thumb stoppers. Okay? Boost post. Now, you're going to attract a bunch of likes to your fan page. Once a week, post something about your business that's informative or a way to build a rapport. Hit this little button down here, boost post. This will boost your post. You're paying to be in the news feed of your people who have liked your page and their friends. So, a boost post just means people have liked your page, but they may not see your content. If they don't like or engage in your page, they're not going to see your content again. I'm sure every single one here has liked lots of different pages. However, they don't always see those pages appear in their news feed. When you do a boost post once a week, this is something you want to write down as being consistent that nobody else does. You want to be able to boost a post once a week on your business page for a minimum of 3 days. So run it at $5 a day. You're going to run it to your page and the friends of your page people. This way your content's always staying in front of people. A lot of times I do this with a video or blog article. I'm always attracting likes because it's going to get people to raise their hand. Oh, one of the most important things I didn't say about likes. See, when I'm getting people to raise their hand, let's just say I'm targeting triathletes, and I'm saying, do you love having a mental edge as you're running a triathlon? Question mark, like us? Those people who like my page, the people where I get the least expensive likes, right? I don't like to say cheapest because cheap's a bad word. Where I get the least expensive likes, those are the keywords or interests that I target for all of my ads. So let's do simple math. I could spend, I'm going to make this up, I could spend $1 a click to get a click to my website. And if I have 25% of those people who click to my website opt in, that means every 4 people are going to opt in. So I spend $4, get 1 lead. Spend $4, get 1 lead. But if I can spend $1 a like, I get $1 a like, I get 4 likes instead of 1 lead, and I can do boost posts and follow up with my fan page. So I am always using likes to find my target audience. I'm always using likes to find my best keyword, and I'm always running a boost post once a week for 3 days to keep my content and keep me relevant in front of my people. Now again, I know we're going a little bit long on this. Is everybody understanding this? Is this information beneficial? Am I losing anybody? Did anybody fall asleep? So go ahead and type in here for me. Yes, Kurt. Tell me, Kurt, this is overwhelming. We've gone over too much. I have questions. Or say, Kurt, I have questions. Can we stop here? Say, Kurt, keep going with more information. You tell me. This is your call. I want to make sure you are getting the most value out of it. All you got to do is just type in the box for me. You tell me, what are you seeing? Fascinating. Wide awake. Okay, that's good. Who else is wide awake? If you're sleeping, you're probably not going to respond. But again, it looks like we have 7 people here. And either I'm just going to keep on rocking and rolling for Peggy because she's the one who answered me. Is there anybody else? Any questions at this point? Talk to you. Absolutely. Okay, great stuff. All right, yes, I'm going to go on a little bit more. And yes, we'll talk personally. Absolutely. So questions about keywords and like campaigns I don't quite understand. Same time. Okay, great. We're running a like campaign from 70 likes to 1,600. We also did a boosted post to many of our weekly webinars. Great. We had one rejected due to content, but all seems to be going okay, and then we got shut down. Went through all your recommendations, and at this point, I've not received any responses from Facebook. I can help you with that. That was back in February. Then I opened a business manager account as suggested and started our like campaign. Tried to boost a video, and it was rejected due to the 10-20 rule in the thumbnail. For safety's sakes, I've stopped doing anything in case that was considered as black mark that was 507. Do you think we are okay to move forward with Facebook ads? Yes, if you don't mind, I'm going to hand you over controls in a couple of minutes. I'm going to go over a couple of other strategies. I'm going to hand you over to controls here in a couple of minutes, and we'll take a look at your ad, and I'll tell you how to move forward. Absolutely, absolutely. If we want to just dive into some traffic to test our new funnel, do we need to do everything you just mentioned first? So Lou, that's completely open. It's completely up to you. I look at it as a congruent way of building momentum. So here's what I mean by that. Is if I'm running $5 a day in a like campaign, I'm always adding likes to my page, so I'm always growing my page in exposure. So I'm always running at least $5 a day in a like campaign. Sometimes I'll run 10 because I'll split test the $5 against another $5 and another keyword. Number one. Number two, if I'm doing a boost post once a week, I am playing in the sandbox that Facebook wants me to play in. Facebook would prefer that I not just run ads. Facebook will reward me if new people are coming to my fan page and if people are engaging with my fan page. So what I'm really working on doing is maybe running $5 a day in a like campaign, $5 a day for a boost post, and then I'm running ads. But it's helping me maintain and stay in that good graces of Facebook as I'm running content as well too. So great question. So you don't have to run the likes and the boost post and then run advertising. But I will tell you, it lays a really good foundation. We've seen it actually has cheaper ad costs, and it helps us in the long term. So we'll go over just a couple of other points. I'll answer all your questions in here as well too. Spend some one-on-one time together. So we run a small boost post campaign. By the way, if I am running, let's just say ads to triathletes, right? I'm going to do a boost post. Well, let me be correct in my language. I'm going to do what we call a boost post right here. I'm going to boost this to my fan and friends of fans. But I'm also going to take that same post. I'm going to take that same post and I'm going to promote that to my best keyword. So that could be triathletes. So now the keyword of triathletes are seeing my like campaign, and even if they don't like my page, they're now seeing my boost post from my page to help build additional tracking. So this is additional branding as well. Lou, you asked another question. What do you do if you have multiple avatars for the same service you provide? That's okay. You can run multiple ads for your multiple different avatars. You can even run multiple like campaigns if you want to do that too, which is absolutely fine. And then what happens is more of your dark posts, more of the posts that don't show up in your fan page, but are your advertisements, you can advertise them to specifically to your different avatar. Absolutely. It works great. Absolutely. So we talked about promoted posts. Promoted posts are really, again, promoting to your best keyword. Dark posts are created, I'll show you where to create it, but dark posts are created that does not show up on your fan page, but it appears in the newsfeed of people that you target. So something like this would show up in people's newsfeed even though they don't like lead pages. So this is a way where you test different ads without having them appear publicly on your fan page. They only appear to the people you're advertising towards. Advertorials, I'm just going to spend a second on this. Advertorials is basically like what Google has in here. These ads, over in the middle and on the right-hand side, they're very congruent. They look the same with what's here in the middle. So for example we want to make everything very congruent. Like these ads are called native advertising. So this is an article, this is an article, this is actually an ad. So we want to make your ads look like other images in your news feed. So what we want to happen is we want this ad to look very similar to what you're already seeing in your newsfeed. The reason is Facebook is limiting all of the advertising and less display inventory. Very important. This is why we say create stories. Facebook has a lot of advertising inventory, but they only serve ads to very specific people. Those very specific people, we want to make sure that it's congruent, so tell a story so when they land on their page. Now, kind of last part, and then I'll give you some step-by-step. So we'll go through our funnel targeting. Now, our funnel targeting really means this. See, we're going to get people's attention by running the like campaign. We attract them over. Those were the boost posts. From that being attracted over to the boost post, then it comes down to the marketing. And this is actually running ads. So this is running the ads that get people to your website. Then, of course, we're going to make sales. We're going to follow up with those people to produce raving fans or raving customers. And that's when you sell your higher end tickets, whether that's 97, 197, 497, 997, whatever that is. So we're consider our high ticket sales. So everything that we're going to do on Facebook is attention, attraction, and marketing. Everything that Todd Brown is going over with you is getting people into that funnel, produce your follow-up, sales, raving fans, high ticket. We want to run this as one continuous effort. We want to keep on bringing people in, funneling them all the way on down. Now, if anybody here has been running a funnel for quite some time, I know Todd will tell you this too, it's amazing how many people have liked my fan page but didn't opt in for months. It's amazing on how many people who had liked my fan page but didn't engage on anything for months. It's interesting how many people have liked our fan page, engaged in stuff, but didn't click on any of our marketing. It is really interesting how many people opted in, didn't do anything for 4 months, and then found one ad that they really liked and then bought. So it's just keeping people going through that funnel the entire time. Now, retargeting. So this is one of the last things I'll show you. I'll show you a couple tips on audience insights over the shoulder, then look at your individual screens. So here's my favorite piece. So Facebook's actually going to profile your prospect for you. So what's going to happen is Facebook's going to watch people who go to your website, and you're going to track it with a little tracking cookie, a little piece of code that Facebook gives you. And what's going to happen is people can go to your website. They're then going to opt in. Facebook's going to see who opted in, who didn't, and they're going to see your offer as well too, and they're going to see who bought. So what's going to happen is when we are tracking this properly, Facebook's going to be able to go out and say, okay, great. I can go out, Kurt, and find you similar visitors who visited my website. Well, they're not buyers, but these are all people who would love to go to my blog. Okay, great. What about all the people who opted in? This is great because I can target more people that have a higher probability of becoming a part of my list. Or Facebook finds similar buyers more money. See, what happens is you have to run consistent traffic of people going to your website, then people opting in, then people buying. So as we're running this consistent traffic, we can get these similar buyers. Here's the best part. Facebook's going to do all the heavy lifting for you. Now, I know we're probably going to have to go over this more on the next call. There's a conversion pixel. So Facebook tracks conversions. Think of conversions as goals. So Facebook wants to track goals. They're going to track, okay, is the goal someone going to your website? We can track that. Is the goal someone opting in? We can track that. Is the goal someone buying? We can track that. Is the goal something that someone bought on an upsell? We can track that and create similar audiences out of all of them. The audience pixel is really the way that we're going to retarget people with ads. This is when someone lands on my landing page but does not opt in, I can serve that person a specific ad. If someone opts in but does not buy, I can show those people a specific ad. It will allow us to separate our audiences. Who's watching us? It will help separate out our audiences. So here's a really cheesy drawing, and then I'm going to show you what buttons to hit to do it. So, and I'm glad that you are all on the call because here's why. A lot of people believe Facebook is all about the money. They believe, hey, look, if I send someone to a Facebook ad, I'm going to make a ton of money. That's not true. You are going to make a bunch of money when you send people through a congruent funnel. Your ad has to be congruent, but it has to be congruent with your funnel. So here's what happens. You have a good ad and you have a good funnel. That's why I'm glad that you're here with Todd Brown. People click on a congruent ad that goes to a congruent landing page. Now here's my avatar. My avatar is going to start from the top. All right, And then my avatar is going to click on my ad. They're making micro commitments, right? Then they're going to click on my landing page, my lead page. And then they're going to opt in. And then I'm going to email them out my lead magnet, like my free book. And then I'm going to send them a second email that's going to send them maybe to a blog post on my page. And then I'm going to have them go to my shopping cart to look at my product. And then, of course, they're going to buy from me. Well, what Facebook will allow me to do is they'll allow me to put a conversion pixel, a goal pixel, each step of the way. So my guy clicks on Facebook ads, goes to my landing page. I want to know when this guy went to my landing page. I want to know the people that went to opted in. I want to know the people who downloaded my ebook. I want to know if someone went to my blog post. I want to know if they visited my sales page. And I want to know if they bought something from me. Now, remember, I'm not going to see if John went through my entire funnel, but I'll start seeing numbers of people that are completing each goal. 5, 10, 20, 50. So Facebook can start learning. I want to tag my persons where Facebook starts doing the work. Now, audience pixel. Audience pixel, an audience is literally how I'm going to follow up. So this is my follow-up, fortunes in the follow-up. I want to follow up with people who opted in did not opt in. I want to follow up with people who did opt in. And this is really just drawing out, how do I want to follow up with individuals? How do I want to follow up with people who visit my shopping page or my shopping cart page but don't buy? How do I follow up with my buyers? This is one thing that Todd does that's just brilliant. So here's what happens. My follow-up, I want to run different ads to people as I'm following up with them. This is called funnel targeting. This is just like writing an email autoresponder series, right? Remember this, write this down. Most people don't buy for 2 reasons. Most people don't buy for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, they do not have enough information to buy. That's it. Not that they don't like you. They may not have read your emails. So keep sending them emails, but they don't have enough information to buy. Or the second thing is they don't know why they have to buy right now. It's the only 2 reasons. They either don't have enough information to buy or they don't know why they should buy right now. Money and everything else can come to it, but let's be completely honest. If the value is great enough, does the price really matter? If I charge someone $10,000 in coaching and I help them build a webinar that converts on Facebook, if they have, simple math, if they have, let's just say a $297 product, right? So if they have a $297 product, if I take $10,000 divided by $297, they only have to sell 34 products to make their money back. That's it. So people don't always necessarily buy on price. They buy on value based off of what will it do for them and why should they get it right now. So let me show you this funnel targeting, okay? Here's what happens. I want to follow up with people who don't opt in. I may follow up with a blog article. Hey, they didn't opt in. They're not interested in what I had to offer that time, but they could be interested in the other stuff that I have. More traffic to my blog. Also, I want to follow up with people who did opt in because they just haven't had enough information to buy. So I'm going to remarket to all opt-ins. I could run a different type of ad giving them additional information on why they should buy. Now, if someone goes to my shopping cart and they don't buy, we can remarket to our sales page visitors. I mean, that's like the analogy of someone coming to your, let's say, flower shop. They put a bunch of flowers inside their shopping cart. They push it to the register, and they're like, hey, my kids just called. I got to go. And they left. And you're like, you were right here. So they require just a little bit of social proof, like a testimony, a little bit more information for them to buy. And once they buy, follow up with your buyers and thank them. Todd Brown does this in a great way. The thing is at the end of the day, what's going to happen is these tracking pixels, these audience or conversion pixels are learning from you. So then you can create a similar audience to get more blog traffic. Create a similar audience from your opt-ins to get more opt-ins. Or, of course, the favorite one is have Facebook do all the work so you get a lookalike buyer. You can start creating lookalike audiences once you've had 100 people get cookied or pixeled, 100 people that went to your landing page, 100 opt-ins, 100 buys. But that's where Facebook can really start learning from you, and where Facebook does all the work. So I gave you a bunch of tips in here. What I do have is I can walk through audience insights to give you some tips. I can also work through the ads manager to give you some additional tips. And one thing I do want to show you before we all leave is a retargeting campaign that I did with Todd Brown, where we put in $142 and made $5,200. And I take you step by step on how we did that, and then I show you some other video stuff as well too. So you tell me at this point, because I know that we are an hour and 44 minutes in already. Wow. So would you like me to show you some audience insights and ad manager tips? Would you like me to look at your individual ads? What serves you best? Go ahead and type in the Skype or the chat for me right now. I'd like 5 minutes to talk. Craig, we can absolutely do that for the overview. Be happy to do so. All right. So Craig, if you could do me a favor and unmute.
I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
I had a feeling you were, because I could hear you typing. Yes, sir, I can.
All right.
Great to have you here.
This is all way too detailed for me, and I would, like I said, but knowing what I do, I have 4 demographics, and somebody else here, Lou, also has got multiple avatars and multiple services. Mine are coaches, parents, athletes, and people interested in mental toughness, not for sports.
Okay.
So, would I want to do specific demographics for each of those? What, just off the top of your head, what comes to mind with that?
Say that one more time.
I have 4 demographics that I cater to, and I sell each of them different products.
Okay.
And I segment them when they get to my email through my Infusionsoft account.
Okay.
So give me like an overview and the psychology, who you think I ought to go for, how I would.
Can you tell me what your 4 different products are, so I can understand a little bit more about your avatar?
So I have coaches, I have parents of athletes, I have the athletes themselves, and I have people who are interested in mental toughness who don't care about sports at all, non-sports. Okay. And so I have a product for each one of them, for each one of those demographics. So would I be like kind of keeping them all 100% separate, trying to, as far as remember, I'm a beginner here on this whole Facebook thing.
Of course, of course. So
does that mean I'm going to just kind of ignore the whole, so what I'm normally doing is I'm putting it out to a certain ad, and then I'm always shocked that people who are not really an athlete, maybe they're a coach, maybe they're a parent, they come into my funnel, and for me to make profit, I got to make, over my ads, I got to make money on everybody who comes to me.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So in other words, it's hard for me to make profit if I'm just targeting my athletes with my athlete product. Because I get people all the time, they see mental toughness for athletes. Okay, they're a coach, and I got a product for the athlete themselves. Coaches aren't going to buy that, but I do have something for the coach.
So, okay, so
how do I do my ads?
So let's talk about coaches for a second.
All right.
So we get really specific on our avatar, right? That's one of the best things that can help you out with your ad. So coaches, what would be the age range of the coaches that your product would benefit for the most?
That they teach high school and junior high kids.
Okay, so the coaches themselves would be, I'd imagine, 30 plus, right? And they teach high school. Okay.
High school or junior high, yeah.
All right. So high school, junior high. Coach of any particular sports, all sports?
All youth sports, yeah.
All youth sports. Do you have any specialty like football, baseball, basketball, like some references that you have in there as well? Or is it just any kind of sport that they play in?
Well, you know, that's a good question. And maybe that's what I ought to just try, one sport at a time. And that's what I'm asking you. Because like some sports, I see a lot more interest than others.
Yes.
For mental toughness training. So
that is the exact answer.
Okay, all right. That's kind of what so I ought to just start really niche-y and just see which niche works best, whether it's coaches of basketball or um, or parents of baseball, softball kids, or whatever.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah, absolutely.
high level, just give me a high level bird's eye. So I'm going to do what with those people? I'm going to put a post up, a promoted post. I'm going to take them to where? A story.
So let me go back over and grab this here real quick. This will help. Move this over to the side. So we spend a ton of time on this right here with our customers and our clients.
Okay.
This is what most people don't have figured out right away. Like they kind of have a general idea, but they don't have it super specific. So we want to get our ads as specific as possible. So let's just kind of, I'm gonna go through this with you, give you some examples and what I would target. Okay. So for example, you said coaches. So let's just say high school coaches, right?
Yeah.
Or youth sports. The coaches are going to be 30 plus. So I know I'm going to target people 30 plus, maybe 25, ideally 30, right? So I'm going to go 30 plus, and they're going to teach high school. So there are, let me see if I can pull this up here real quick. So inside my targeting, I can look at work. I can find out if they're a coach, like a high school coach, by their title or by their working relationship. Okay, so I know I'm targeting 30 plus. I'm targeting high school or junior high teachers, and then I can also target the keyword of, for instance, football or youth sports. So a lot of that we're going to find down over here in just the general interests, which could be youth sports, or even in the buying behaviors where you have the behaviors right down here. This could be buying sporting goods. So what we do with a practice with our clients and with our students, we say, okay, so let's just say the coach is 30 plus years old, they teach high school, they do all different types of sports. And that's why I asked the question, okay, is there any sports specifically that you find that attract people over? And you're like, yeah, there's a couple. So I'll just make this up. Let's just say baseball, football, and basketball.
Yeah.
Baseball, okay, perfect. Baseball is great. So let's just say baseball. Well, your ads will be around baseball. Are you a baseball coach?
Right.
Do you coach baseball players? Do you notice that most of the time it's a mental game? You have kids with great, and again, I'm making this up. You have kids with great talent, but not the mindset to move ahead. So what happens is the more specific that we can focus on our avatar. I even tell people this. I mean, we literally do this when we send out on our email list. We close our eyes and it's like, okay, our avatar is 35, 55, have a small business. They want to learn how to market online. They don't have a ton of experience. If I was to sit down and have a cup of coffee with that person, what specifically would I say? I mean, like I'm closing my eyes going through it right now. So as I'm writing an ad, I'm thinking about the age range of that coach, not just for targeting, but who's sitting down in front of me and what would I tell them about my specific product. So you could target coaches who coach baseball or are interested in baseball. Your ad would be around baseball, which would take them to a landing page about mental toughness in baseball. So when they opt in,
you say landing page. Is that a landing page inside Facebook or outside?
Outside. I don't do any landing pages inside Facebook. Just
okay,
FYI.
good. All right, yeah, all right.
So so just to be clear on the language, is I might do a post about a blog article about baseball and mental toughness. Great. I'll do that with a boost post to communicate with my audience. But if I want to segment out for like what you're talking about, I am going to target the 30 plus high school teacher who likes baseball. My ad will say something about baseball and mental toughness. When they click on that ad and it goes over to my landing page, it will talk about, and again, I'm going to make this up, it will talk about mental toughness in baseball. Download my ebook on mental toughness.
Yep.
Which I didn't say anything about baseball for downloading my book.
Right.
But that whole thing's congruent. So the more that we can focus on our avatar, the more that we can talk to those specific people. So when they come into your funnel, you know that, well, they came from my baseball targeting, so they must like something with baseball, and you have one or two options. Either one, you can, when you send out an email, when you send out like a broadcast email, let's just say you come out with a new product that can help all these individual people, you can just change the title of your email for that segment of people. and that can increase your open rates dramatically. Or I'm
Well,
sure
I
you're
can
familiar.
segment inside, but I'm still not. I'm not worried about that. Infusionsoft, I can tag them down to nothing. But what I'm not clear on is the ad on Facebook takes
Yes.
them, if I heard you right, takes them to like a blog post on my site that talks all about what baseball coaches care about,
Yes.
and has a mechanism. Maybe it's get this next free thing to get them on my list. So I'm going to try to get them on my list on that landing page and give them valuable content. Do I have that right?
So you have an option there. Either you can give them valuable content and an opt-in, or you can send them directly to like an opt-in or a webinar opt-in. That is completely up to you. It's really two different choices of, hey, I'm just going to send them straight to my free report. Or if you want to, you can send them to a blog post where they just read more information and then opt in. You may have less opt-ins, but they're a little bit more qualified.
Yeah.
It's something that we just always test.
So what kind of variables have you guys learned that determine, which way you're going to go with a landing page?
It's typically just by testing and running the traffic.
Okay.
So for example, like what we'll do is like for social media ad genius, for example,
Yep.
is we'll run people directly to a landing page that says, I'll give you our exact way that we do it. So I'll send people over to our landing page that just says, what does the landing page say? I'm just trying to think off the top of my head so I don't have to pull them all up. It is, here's what we've learned after 35 niches and over $6 million in Facebook ad spend. Here's how you can apply these same techniques to your small business. You will learn, then it has 4 bullet points. Opt in here for this free report and free video of what you can apply for your business, right? Now, for me, if they don't opt in there, that is usually a $4 to $6 opt-in for me. So
Yeah.
I will spend up to $8 because I know over the course of 30 days, I usually make $20 an opt-in, right?
Yeah.
So then if they go to that opt-in page, but they don't opt in, I know that they made that micro commitment there. So then what I'll do is I'll place retargeting ads for people who didn't opt in into an article or a blog post that says, I want to teach you more about retargeting. Read my blog post on how to retarget people. So now they're reading my blog post, which they can opt in down below. But what happens is, and it's just so weird, like there's not a definitive answer here, is we'll split test and say, okay, do we get less expensive leads for running them straight into an opt-in? Or sometimes we get less expensive leads by running them to a blog and then retargeting them to the opt-in.
Right.
So that's why I said it depends on testing. It's just, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just kind of interesting.
All right, so maybe default start with the easy squeeze page thing, set that up, get your numbers, and then throw a test against it with that scenario 2 you gave.
Exactly. So the moral of the story that we always work on is, what can we test right now to establish some kind of control number?
Yeah.
And then all I'm going to do is try to beat that control number with my next set of ads or landing page.
Right.
So what I tell people is I'm like, look, and this is what most people do. They're like, okay, wait a minute. I got $10 leads. That's too expensive. The expensive part doesn't really matter until you figure out what the lifetime value of the funnel is, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So it's like one lady was telling me that she fired her social media manager because she was getting $4 leads where she used to get $1.50 leads. And I'm like, okay, what's your lifetime value of your lead? She's like, $35. And I'm like, lady, you are concentrating on, there is no place in the stock market you can get that kind of return. And I go, in Texas, we have a saying that pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. You're being greedy, right?
Right.
So what happens is we'll run to kind of see what that cost is, and then we'll try to beat that. We'll try to beat that cost, even if it's by 10 cents, 20 cents, and then we'll try to narrow it down just a little bit. But we're always looking at, okay, what was our opt-in rate on our landing page? Crap, it was 10%. Well, maybe if I retarget just a little bit more information, I can increase that opt-in. And what we do is we'll only change one thing at a time, and we'll test for 2 to 3 days. So this is really important for everybody. We don't believe in any trends unless it happens on Facebook for more than 3 days. So like for clients, we don't even give client reports daily because they get too emotionally involved. What we do is we'll send them every 3 days because we're seeing, okay, we got $3 leads, $3 leads, $6 leads. Well, that averages out, so all right, we're fine. And then what we do is we'll change just the title on the landing page, or wait 2 days, 3 days, change 2 bullet points, wait 2 days, wait 3 days, change just the image, not the ad copy, just the image. Most people will try to change everything too quick so they can never narrow in. And what I tell people is when you're spending money on Facebook, it's not like you're investing money that can go up and down. What you're really doing is buying data. So you want to make sure you're buying data the smart way, changing small things, and then it's really going to help you scale. Does that make more sense?
Makes total sense. I want to ask you one last thing. So
Absolutely.
you're specializing on Facebook here, and so many people on the AdWords say the big difference is people on Facebook are not looking for solutions, where on Google they are. And that's kind of why I start on AdWords. What do you have to say about that from that side?
So here's my opinion, like just from all the stuff that we've run. A couple of things. So I'll give you the good, bad, and the ugly. So the good, I think Google's amazing to target, and there's so much traffic there. It's so much easier to scale than Facebook. However, Google's a little more, and people have had these bad experiences 4 or 5 years ago where their account was shut down, blah, 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 blah. That's all they remember. So Facebook's a lot easier to get onto. It's also easier to lose money on, and it is disruption marketing. I mean, they're not looking for a specific solution. However, if you can target 30-year-old coaches for high school who teach baseball inside of Cincinnati, like you can get really targeted, more targeted than what Google can target.
Right.
But they're not looking for it. So it's easier and faster to quantify a test up on Facebook, but you can't. So this is really important too. It's kind of a side tip, but like for Facebook, for example, you can start getting some numbers, but if you really try to crank it up, Facebook looks at it as fraud. Like if we're spending $50 in your ads and you're loving it and we crank it to 1,000, Facebook looks at it as fraud, like we're trying to flood the market. However, Google loves that because that's what people are searching for. So we always say Facebook's the easiest way to quantify a test. In my personal opinion, I'd rather scale stuff long-term on Google. So even though I use Facebook a lot, it's fun and easy, but I know I can build a bigger business on Google than what I can on Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm done.
Of course, not a problem. Okay, so let's go back over. There were a couple of other questions that I wanted to talk about. So those are great questions, by the way. Let's go back up. Talk to me personally, call. Got that. Wait, stuff. Upcharge keywords in the light campaign. Okay, Peggy, you had questions on the keywords on the light campaigns. I don't quite understand that. Would you mind unmuting yourself and coming out here and just help me restate that question for me, please?
Hi. I think you were talking about not necessarily the likes, but the boost, and you kept talking about using keywords, but is that in the ad? I'm not clear where you're using keywords at and how you're.
Absolutely.
That's a big deal.
So great question. Okay, so there's 2 different parts. Let me pull up the example here real quick. So the first one is what we're going to do once a week is we're going to want to make sure that we have a post, we do this little boost post right here, and then it's going to open up a dialog box and it's going to say, who do you want to target? And the very first option is going to say fans and friends of fans. Okay? So we're going to run that for $5 a day for 3 days. It's just going to target all our fans and their friends. Hopefully their friends or they influence their friends, help them out as buyers. Okay? Now, if we find that we like that post, one of the things that we can do is we can go in the back of, let me pull this up over here. We can go in the back of, whoops, wrong presentation. We can go in the back of Ads Manager. Okay? So if I go in the back of Ads Manager, and I go, there's a little green button up over here to the side that would say create an ad. Now what's going to happen is it'll say boost post right here. So I go to boost post, hit continue, like it'll pull up my actual post that we were talking about. Local awareness. Now what it's going to do is I'm boosting the post. I know it says page likes, but just for the demonstration, it would say boost post right here. Now I can type in the keyword where I'm getting my best likes. So now I'm advertising that post to my fans and friends of fans from when I hit that button. And then when I come into my ads manager, I can now target that post on my fan page directly to the keyword that's working the best for me for my like campaign. Does that make sense?
A little bit. So where do you enter the keyword on this page that's on your screen?
So right here we would have locations, and then right here would be the interest. Let's see this show the next screen.
Okay, so it would be like mental toughness, to use that example. That's what you would type in there?
So for the example that we were going over here, that we were just talking about with Craig, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Okay, so for example, thank you. So for example, let's say that he's targeting coaches 30 plus that teach high school baseball, right? So he is targeting that for his like campaign. It says, are you a high school coach that teaches baseball? Like us for tips. Great. He finds out that, man, you know what? Those keywords are really helping me out. So he does a boost post on baseball tips for coaches. And then as he's running that to his fan page, he then comes in and clicks on boost post. Boost post will actually pull up a list of his posts that he has on his fan page. He selects the post that he wants to boost. He comes in here and he types in the keyword that he's running for his like campaign. So it would be a high school teacher who coaches baseball. So now that post on his fan page would show up on those people's news feeds, even who does not like his page. Does that make more sense?
That does. I think what I was missing was the ad, are you a coach, whatever,
yes.
For the like campaign. Now, okay, that gets into a whole other area of setting up your like campaigns. Mm-hmm. When we set one up, we started in February, less than 900 likes on our page. Now we're over 6,000.
Awesome.
But I didn't see a way to like change the post or anything. It just sort of like pulled in. I don't know what it pulled in, but something that was just, I guess, a default. How do you set up a like campaign that actually makes sense?
Can I give you control? I'll actually make you presenter. Can I make you presenter and you show me your screen? Is that okay?
Sure.
You want to pull up your ad account? We'll look through it real quick.
Okay.
And I'll give you a perfect example. Okay, so let me see here real quick. All right. Pass presenter role. All right, it says you're passing the presenter role to Peggy. So you see some kind of icon come up?
Oh, okay. Let's see, to download an app.
That's okay. Just download it. It's just basically a software that'll share your screen.
Okay. Almost there.
That's okay. That is absolutely all right.
Okay.
Ooh, there we go. All right, I see your screen.
Awesome. Okay, so here's our ad account. Where do I need to go?
All right. So, 4,700 page likes. Go ahead and do me a favor. Click on Promoting Healthy Marriage Tips. Click on that for me. Very first link underneath campaign name, right there.
Okay. And then again?
Go ahead. Yep, click on it again. Yep, click on it one more time. Scroll on down just a little bit for me. And by the way, you may be doing stuff as I'm telling you just because there's a slight delay. So, okay. So, Do me a favor, underneath creative, which is right in the middle of your screen, click on add preview. Let me see if that image comes up. Go ahead and view in newsfeed down the bottom left-hand side. There you go. Let's see what that looks like.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can tell you what the picture looks like. It's what they've done is basically took our header image.
Header image.
That one.
Oh, it's a great picture. Okay. I know exactly what happened. Most likely is on the left-hand side where you see view promotion. Yep, right around there. There was probably a box there that said promote fan page, that you hit that button. So what you can do is, let's do this. Go ahead and go back to the tab that you were on before. Move your arrow up, and there's a tab right there, the ad set. Yeah, just go to the, if you go to the tab of this page, so go to the very, very, very top where you have the tab of your websites. Keep going up. Keep moving your mouse up. Nope, just straight up. Straight up. Keep going up. Keep going up to the very top. Keep going. Right there. Scroll to the right, just a little bit right there. Yeah, click on that.
Sorry.
Not a problem.
All right.
All right, go ahead and close on that X. Yeah. Close that. Okay. Scroll up to the, okay, hang on one second. Let's take a look at your stats for just a second right here. Okay.
All right.
4,700 page likes is great. So your control cost is 14 cents, right? We're going to see if we can beat 14 cents, which is great, by the way. Your frequency is 1.45. What that means is the average person has seen your ad 1.45 times. So ad blindness happens when people see the same ad over and over and over and over and over, and they just physically can't see it anymore. Okay, that would be of like if they have like they see it 4 or 5 times. Okay, so this is good. Now I'm going to show you how much room there is to scale. You've gotten 5,000 clicks. That is definitely a quantifiable number that we can establish probabilities. Your click-through rate, how many people have seen your ad and clicked to click through on your ad, is 5.9%. So to give you a good or bad range, I always look for at least 1% click-through. A 5.9% click-through is really good. So
okay.
Facebook will always reward you for 2 things. Number 1, a high click-through rate. Number 2, a relevancy score. So you see that relevancy score that's 8 out of 10, right?
Right.
That basically means when ads are shown in the news feed, there's a little X in the top right-hand side. People can click that X and say, I don't like this. I see this too much. It's not relevant to me. Basically what Facebook is saying what the click-through rate number and the relevance score is, when they show your ad, there's a high rate of people that click on it. And they must like it because it's really relevant to them. So Facebook wants you running relevant ads. Now, I'm going to explain the click-through rate for just a second. Then we're going to scroll through these other numbers, and I'm going to show you how to make another ad here real quick. This is really important for everybody. So we want to take a look at a click-through rate like a slot machine. So lots of people are running ads right now. Facebook wants to limit the ads on Facebook, but not limit their inventory. So they want to make ads more relevant. So there are people probably advertising to the exact same keywords that you are, right? And Facebook has to determine which ads should we show, because we can't show all of them, right? Just can't. So Facebook looks at it as, okay, the higher the click-through rate, the more money that we'll make, because you are bidding per like. So if your click-through rate is like 0.5%, let's just make up a number. Facebook's like, let's say I have a competing business to yours, okay? And let's say my click-through rate is 0.5% and yours is 5.9. Facebook algorithm decides, well, do I show Kurt's ad? Well, there's not really many people clicking on it. Or they show your ad. there's a higher probability that people will click on your ad. Facebook will make more money if they show your ads. They only want ads that people click on that are relevant. So the higher your click-through rate, you're actually going to get lower cost because Facebook already knows there's a higher probability they'll make more money. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. If you can do me a favor, scroll over just a little bit so I can see the rest of your page. You have total spent. What else do you have there? Yeah, you just have to. Okay, good. Maximum bid, 5 page. Okay. So this all makes sense. So let me show you here how to make a quick like campaign. Okay. So scroll up to the very top for me. There's a green button. So go ahead and hit create ad and ad set. Let's see what this pulls up. All right, so you're running a page like. When ad blocker is enabled in a web browser, turn off an ad blocker ad. Oh, do you have an ad blocker that you run?
I do.
Don't you kind of like that though, where you're running an ad blocker but you're placing ads? Isn't that kind of a little interesting?
It is. Don't run on this page.
Yeah.
Don't run on this domain. There we go. Okay.
Kind of funny because I was talking to a guy the other day who sells automated webinars, and he sells all of his webinars on live webinars. And I'm like, isn't this kind of a little interesting that you sell recorded webinars on live webinars? He's like, well, yeah, it's a little interesting. Oh, I wonder if that's why we didn't see the image when it pulled up in the ad example.
Yeah, sometimes they show up on the preview and sometimes they don't. So I'm not sure what that's all about.
So what's interesting is inside of our ad agency, I know this is going to sound really weird, we don't allow our employees to ask the question why. Because why is like an open loop that you just don't have an answer for. They're like, Kurt, why does Facebook do? Sometimes I have no idea. Sometimes
Right?
it's just that way. Like, there's no other way to explain it. Otherwise, you'd be completely frustrated, mad, throwing things. It's like, I don't know, we just have to retest. You might just have to kill the page and reload it, which is fine.
Well, maybe this will work. Yeah, we're not talking right now. We're waiting for my page to load. So hopefully, whoever that was saw that. Okay, great. All right, Kurt, what do you suggest? It's not loading up. Kurt? Figure it out. Okay, I don't know what to do about this. Yeah, I don't know what. I think we might have lost Kurt.
All right, is everybody there?
Oh, there you are.
Sorry about that. I moved my mouse. Then all of a sudden, if you guys have Macs, you may understand. I moved my mouse. Then all of a sudden, my screen just defaulted and went back to the login screen. Then I had to relog back in to join me, which was an interesting experience. So sorry about that. I apologize.
No worries.
Okay. So healthy.
Page to come up. So.
Okay, perfect. So this is the right page. We're here, right? So you have your campaign name. Great. And you scroll. Do me a favor. Scroll on down. So you have your audience now. So a couple of things. Now, are you advertising all over the U.S.? Are you advertising in a zip code so people come to your office? Where are you advertising to?
It's all online, so it's all over the U.S.
All over the U.S. Okay. What's the age range of your avatar?
Well, we have several different ones. Typically, women 25 to 45.
Perfect. Type that in. So age 25, 45 women. Okay. Go down to demographics, where it says more demographics, hit that drop-down box, just right below the languages, right where you're at.
Okay. Did we lose you again? You back?
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know if it happened to anybody else. It looks like we have 8 people still here. But yeah, my screen went white. Like you clicked on a button and it went white, and I know that's not your fault. And nothing happened with my actual screen. It was just the internet, which is weird. Okay, all sound stopped. All not my screen. Hang on, let me see if I can. Not my screen. Sound stopped. Lost him. Can hear Peggy. If you need, please refresh your screen. And as your presenter, what you may need to do is just tell people what I just said. I'm pretty sure everyone can see it. Yeah, I can only see messages. I'm sorry?
Well, you sent it to all, I think. Yeah, you sent it to all, so everybody should be able to see it.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, go ahead and type in that relationship. Go ahead and click on relationship then.
Okay.
Relationship status.
Okay.
There you go.
So, I mean, multiple is okay?
Yeah, if you want. You know what? It kind of all depends, and here's what I mean by that. If you want to talk about, remember, the more congruent your ad, the better the click rate you're going to have and the more your ads are going to serve. So if you create an ad that says, do you enjoy being married? That's great. Do you enjoy being engaged? Do you, you got to be careful not to call people out personally. Are you married, right? Being married in a relationship can be one of the most fulfilling things of life. I didn't say that they were married. I'm making that assumption, right? But try not to call them out personally of, are you fill in the space? Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, it does.
Okay. So, yes, you can use all of them. If you want to split test for your ads to only talk about married people or engaged, that's fine. Because if you scroll over, go over to the right-hand side, move your mouse to the right-hand side and scroll down just a little bit. Move your mouse down just a little bit more, keep going, keep going, keep going. Right there. Move it over to the left just a little bit. So because of all 3 of those words, you have the potential to reach 23 million people. Okay? So do me a favor, I want to show you this. Scroll on down just a little bit where we're going to go below daily budget. So just a little bit. Okay?
Okay.
Let me show you this. All right, this is perfect. Actually, do me a favor, scroll up just a little bit more because I want to be able to see the daily budget that everybody can see and when the demographics of all those 3 different keywords. So, nope, other way. Move the screen up for me. So we can see where you were at with the 3 keywords. There you go, right there. Right there's perfect. Okay? All right. See, we can see the 3 keywords in relationship, married, and engaged. We see that potential reach has 23 million people, right? So your daily budget, scroll down, or I'm sorry, not scroll down, just move your mouse over to where it says daily budget because I want everybody to see these numbers, okay? Yeah, go ahead and click your mouse in there where it says $10, all right? Now, if you notice, you don't have to move your mouse, keep the cursor where it's at, but if you notice on the right-hand side, it has estimated daily reach, all right? You will spend $10 a day, and out of 23 million people, anywhere between 1,800 and 4,800 people will see your ad out of 19 million, okay? So what you do is erase that $10 USD. Now put in, just for the game of it, $20,000. So just 20000 or 000, I guess. Yep, and hit enter. Or click away from the field. See, even at $20,000 a day, you're only going to reach 2.6 million to 6.9 million out of 19 million. Okay? Obviously, you're not going to spend $20,000 a day, right?
No.
So what you do is go to the top to where relationship, married, and engaged is, and click away, and then X out relationship and engaged. Just leave married up there. Okay. So for example, married is 17 million people, right? Even if you spent $20,000 a day, you're only going to reach 2.3 million to 6.1 million out of 14 million for estimated reach. So what that means is you have a lot of room to grow and scale your business, even if you only target married people. Does that make sense?
It does.
So what I show people is I'm like, hey, look, do you have a lot of room to scale? So as we were talking about before, high school baseball coaches in Pittsburgh, there's 20,000, let's just say there's 20,000 people. Oh, if I spend $10 a day, I'm going to reach 10,000 people. There's not a whole lot of room to scale. You have a lot of different rooms. So you don't have to put in the other two keywords. You can, but what I'm looking for is to target one keyword. If it's over 1 million, you're at 17 million. I'm looking at targeting one keyword because I can scale a lot with that one keyword with different like campaigns, different ads. I have a whole lot of room to grow without having me to lump in any other qualifications of the relationship. I can be very specific in my ad copy for my ad targeting. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. So you have your relationship status as married. I'm curious, do me a favor, go back up to relationship status, click in the browse field right underneath married. Yep, click on that. Scroll down a little bit, domestic partnership, open relationship, separated, divorced, widowed. So, you know, I wonder, and again, not calling anybody out directly, I wonder how well some of your stuff would work to just separated. So do me a favor, click on separated. I just want to take a look. Okay, and then take out married, X out married. 240,000 people. So again, even spending $20,000 a day, which I know you're not going to, that's how much it would typically take to reach those people on a daily basis. So if you scroll down to daily budget, or just move your mouse down to daily budget and change it to $30, I mean, look, you reach 4,000 to 11,000 people out of 190,000. You got a lot of room even to grow with just that one keyword there.
Yeah.
Does this help make sense where you're kind of looking at keywords and how much opportunity there is there or not?
Yeah, it does. It makes a lot of sense.
Perfect. Perfect. So yeah, your like ad is pretty much what you just put together right here. Is we just have an image, and for you, because your niche is so wide, I would pick one keyword, and start at $5 or $10 a day, and then you can decide, and then maybe you create another campaign that you do one married versus in relationship. And you just find out, where are you getting your best likes. So yeah, you scroll on down. Let's just say your daily budget, change that to $10, just for an example. Let me show you something. I'll show you how we set up a quick split test, okay? Now your ad set name, when you scroll down, actually hang on a sec, click on advanced options. Just that very next option, yeah, click on that right there. So here's what I do. I always bid for the optimization. So notice, let's go ahead and click through these options real quick. Go ahead and click on that down arrow for page likes. It was right back where you're at, right there. Okay. So either you can bid on, hey Facebook, go out and find me page likes, or Facebook bid on me on clicks. Now clicks means that they click on the ad, they click somewhere around, they may like your page, they not like your page. I want likes. I don't want clicks. I want likes. I want Facebook to figure that out. Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and keep that on page likes. So go ahead. Yep, there you go. Now set the amount a page like is worth to you. Click on that option for me. Yeah, we're just going to go straight down all the options. Now what some people will do is they'll say, you know what? I don't want page likes more than $1, and they'll put that in there. I don't give Facebook any boundaries on what to do. I split test out keywords or images. So I don't want to tell Facebook, hey, Facebook, go out and find me the right people, but I'm only willing to spend this much money on it. It just never really seems to work for me. So I'm always letting Facebook do what they do best, is find their algorithm to go get me page likes. So go ahead. I just wanted to show that example to people. So click on that option right above that where it says get the most page likes at the best price. Yep, click on that. There we go. Now go ahead, right where it says add set name. Let's type in there for a second. So this is going to be U.S. women 25 to 45. Now just type in married, because that's the keyword that you're going after. Married. That's it. Okay? So we're going to scroll down. Now let's go to select images. Now I'm going to show you something that can be a little frustrating. So yeah, go ahead and click on that. All right. Now, either you can upload images, right, which I'm sure that you've done before, because this is just going to pull the cover image, or go ahead and click on Browse Library for me for a second. These are all of the images that you've used before. Okay? So go ahead and click on Done. Hang on one second. Oh, what's up, Joy? All right. Now, do me a favor. Click on Professional Images. Okay. There aren't any images you search for using other keywords. Okay, great. So search for stock images. Just type in married and see what happens. So now I'm going to tell you something that is really stupid and doesn't make any sense, and this is why we don't use the Y inside of our office. Okay?
Okay.
All of these images are supplied by Facebook, right? And Shutterstock. But all of these images are not approved to run on Facebook. It makes no sense why they would have images in here, but they don't get approved to run on Facebook. So, like for instance, and I don't think we have anybody like in the health niche, like they can't show side-by-side images of people losing weight, or they can't have too many words on the screen. And then Facebook won't approve it. So just remember the regular ad rules. But for instance, you could like be running an ad for Separated, and you could click on that picture where that woman has her head or her head in her hand. Yeah, right there if you wanted to do that. But what I want, but let's do this. Let's scroll right underneath that one where it's kind of that golden picture with the guy and the girl right next to that. Yeah, click on that. All right. Now scroll down to that picture in the middle where it says selected images 3 of 6 and hit the little X to delete that picture. Yes. Now you can go ahead and hit done. You can split test up to 6 images. Here's the thing though. Facebook does not split test 6 images. And this is going to sound really, really, really dumb. So what happens is this, and I don't know the rhyme or the reason for it, but if we all walked into a casino, right? All of us. So there's, what, 9 of us right now, right? We all walk into a casino, and I start playing a slot machine. I put $5 in, and I make 2 pulls. Let's say they're dollar slot machines. I make 2 pulls. You put $2 in, you make 2 pulls, and all of a sudden you start winning some money. And then everybody else goes over, and one person might put it in $1, and then maybe everybody else doesn't even play at all. Well, we all come over to your slot machine because that gave us the biggest payouts. But we didn't test all the other slot machines. So how do we know that all the other slot machines don't work if we all haven't spent at least $5 on all of them? Facebook, for some reason, treats images the same way. We will split test 2 images when we run campaigns. But if you put in 6 images, Facebook will not even run 4 of them. I have no idea why. So they give you 6 options, but they never run 6 options. They only run 1 or 2. So you will find when you use just 2 different images, Facebook will show one image to like 1,000 people and the other image to like 10. Not even a quantifiable number. So we only split test out 2 images at a time, and we know within 2 days we will be turning off 1 image. we never split test more than 2 images. Does that, I want to say, does that make sense? But it doesn't really make any sense. But does that, do you understand what I'm saying?
Doesn't make sense, but what you were saying makes perfect sense.
Yes, yes. It's like, in my opinion, we would put 6 images there, and Facebook would run it to 200 people each, and then the ones that didn't work, Facebook would only run the one to the ones that people like the most. But Facebook may not even serve an image to 3 people. It's like, that's not even quantifiable. How does your algorithm work there? So let's just say we use these 2 images, right?
Okay.
So now, so scroll down to where it says text, okay? So it says healthy marriage tips provides articles.
Right.
Right? What would you like to say there to the married avatar that we're talking to? So you could say, for example, you could just say, do you love your marriage like us? Yeah, you can always say like us for successful marriage tips. Like that's fine right there. Do you love your marriage like us? It's great. There you go.
All right.
So what I do, just to test, is if you scroll over just a little bit to where those images are, you're going to see that's a desktop preview. And then, yep, scroll down that bar just a little bit. Yep, scroll down that one. So it's just split testing that other image, right? That's it. So what I do is I click on, right below that scroll bar, click on that remove button where it says mobile news feeds. You want to click remove mobile news feed, okay? Scroll down, click remove. All right, now do me a favor, and you're going to scroll the page up on that far right-hand bar.
Oh, the page itself, okay?
Okay. I think I got file. Lou, did you send me a file? I'm not quite sure what that is. I'll just download it and save it till later. Okay, so, okay, you see where it says ad set name right there? I want you to go ahead and type in, right after married, I want you to type in space desktop. Okay? So I'm going to show you 2 different types of split tests. We want to test the keyword married on the desktop display. So scroll down towards the bottom. Okay? Now click, and we're going to be really careful when we do this. So click place order and then wait. Don't click anything after that. Okay? Wait for it to come up. Don't touch anything. Okay. Now go ahead and click on create similar ad.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I want you to scroll over your mouse just to the right, just a little bit, where it says change ad set. Right there. Okay. Create new ad set. Okay. Go ahead and hit save. Now, for just a moment, leave your page right here. Go ahead and go to another tab in your internet browser at the very top. And I want you to Google the following: Facebook, and then, yep, Facebook space campaign space ad set, 2 words, space ad. Hit enter. Click on images, where you have web, videos, images. Click on images. Right there. Right underneath your mouse, click on that image, right underneath your mouse, right there. And then scroll over to your right just a little bit where it says View Image. Go ahead and click on View Image. Yep, right there. Okay, here's what we're doing, just to explain this. So we've created a campaign that says we want to run a like campaign. Okay, so that's what we're running right now as a campaign. What we're doing is we are split testing ad sets. So one ad set says we are going to target married people on desktop. And underneath that ad set, like over on the left-hand side, like right over on the left-hand side, we have created 2 ad images. We've just changed the images. So we are split testing the images underneath the ad set of married desktop. Now what we're going to do is this second ad set, we're going to split test married mobile. We just want to see where we're getting cheaper leads. Is it in the desktop or on mobile? Okay. So go back to the tab that we were just at where it said create similar ad at the top. There we go. And this is very easy to split test. Now, scroll on down just a little bit. Yep, keep going. Keep going. All right. And then you're going to have, it's going to show up, you got your daily budget, which is the same. Everything's the same. Keep scrolling on down. All right. Now you see where it says ad set name? You're just going to change it where it says desktop. Instead, it's going to say mobile. Scroll on down. So you want to add mobile. So you're going to click that little button, add next to mobile. And you're going to remove desktop. That's right. Just move your mouse up just a little bit and you'll see the button remove. Yep, click right there. All right, go ahead and hit place order. Let me show you this one more time. So place order, and then we're going to go to create a similar ad. So create another similar ad. Now, ideally, what I do is I split test mobile, desktop, and right-hand side. But just for time's sake, go ahead and hit change ad set again. We're going to do one more split test just to show you the difference. Just one more. Okay. Yep. Create new ad set. Save. Scroll on down to where it's married. Go to the married part. Okay. Let's figure out. Let's see here. What would be another one? Because what's your fan page name again?
Healthy Marriage Tips.
Healthy Marriage Tips. What about civil union? Can you click on civil union? Take out married. That's it? 27,000 people? That's interesting. All right. So scroll on down until we find ad set. Okay. So you're going to change married to civil union. That's mobile. It's perfect. Scroll on down. Now your text. Do you love your marriage? Just put, do you love your civil union? Yep, change that there too. Perfect. All right. So that's mobile, right? So you would hit, and you can stop these ads, of course, anytime, but go ahead and hit place order.
You make it
now
look
mobile.
so easy.
What's that?
You make it look so easy.
Once you know the right buttons to hit, it gets to be pretty easy. So then you could right now, and you don't have to, is to create a similar ad where then you would be split testing desktop and mobile. So what we do is we split test out keywords, and then we split test out placement. And we create different ad sets underneath one campaign, so we're slightly changing just a little bit. So we have one test running for married desktop, another one for married mobile, and then we tested another keyword for civil union mobile. And mobile works really well for likes because people just scroll down and hit the like button. And then you could test similar ad for desktop. And then you look and wait over 24, 48 hours, 3 days, and see if you can get less than 15-cent likes for what you're already getting right now. And then after, for instance, I don't believe anything that happens after 24 hours. If you see a like that you're getting for civil unions are $10 compared to your 15 cents, yes, turn it off.
Okay.
If it's 50 cents compared to 15, I wait 24 hours, right? If it's way out of the park, yes. But like I'll have some people who will say, Kurt, I've been checking my ads every hour and the cost seems to go up. And I'm like, you are going to go crazy by doing that because Facebook reports back in half-an-hour segments typically. Plus, the algorithm doesn't really start working for a good 24 hours. You're going to go crazy. Now that you have a baseline for your control of 15 cents, you're just going to be slightly testing a little bit and turning off ads that don't work, making another ad set, testing another keyword or another image so that you can run your split test. Does that make sense?
It does.
Cool. Does that help answer some of your questions? And by the way, you can split test this out with engagement posts, video views. These are how we run all of our split tests, all of them.
Okay, this is really, really helpful.
That's why Todd asked me to be here. Well, actually, Damon did through Todd, but pretty much the same thing. Okay, so that was good. Would you mind giving me back over parental control rights or whatever you want to call them? Do you know how to do that? Or maybe, request presenter role. There you go. Download the desktop option. Oh, why does that happen? Okay, and then I got another file sent over, so let's take this out. The download should start automatically, does not require me to restart my computer. That would be good. That would be what you call a disaster. So, join me, join me, join me, join me, open. Yay, that takes so long. Okay, so the problem is when I come back in, everybody should hear me now. Can everybody hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, yes, okay, perfect. So the problem is every time I switch presenter from myself or to someone else, all the chat disappears. So I apologize. Who sent me the file? Someone sent me the, files from Lou. Lou sent me the files. Okay, so Lou, what am I opening on my computer? Facebook ads with Todd's changes. I just got an error when I try to open it. Okay, let's take a look at this. There we go. Yep, I got that there. All right, landing Facebook demographics, psychographics to Kurt. Excel save the changes for the file before the application quit. Yeah, open. All right. Lou, are you still here, by the way? Did we lose you? Can you still hear me? The other file is my avatar. Lou, you are the best. Thank you. It's going to open for a second. Thank you for writing this out like this. I really appreciate it. This is great. Let me see here. Let me read this with my blind eyes. Okay, so there are 5 generational types of home buyers and sellers. Yep, used to be in real estate, got real estate clients, completely understand. The silent generation, yep. Baby boomers, yep, got it. As of 2015, of the 5 generational types, Generation X represents the largest percentage of home buyers and home sellers, 27% of the buyers, 27% of the sellers. For that reason, we choose Generation X as our target market. Makes sense. Below is some relevant information on the Generation S market. Then listed are the demographics and psychographics for the rest of the information required to complete Module 1 of the MFA coaching program. Great. Will you please take a look at the information in my responses for the Module 1 so I can get your thoughts? And if I'm on track, review yes to discuss with you on the Wednesday critique. Okay, so home buyers, yep, 3549, great. Percentage represents the greatest home buyers, yep, this is all good. Yeah, how do I find target people who want to buy a house? I will show you that in just a second. Lou, I'm going to hand you over controls. You'll have to download this little thing, but I'm actually going to show you that. 65% repeat buyers, got it. To be upsizing, motivated, demographics. You did some great work on this. Great. Management, professional related, great. Married couples are looking for houses more than unmarried couples. Hobbies, this is really great. Favorite periodicals, great research on this. All right, so yeah, I mean, how to motivate them, how to effectively train them. This stuff in here is going to help with ad copy. This stuff in here is going to help with your funnel. This is, I don't know if Todd had you lay this out or what this is exactly, but I love this. This is great. Okay, good. So Lou, I'm going to hand you over controls. So make presenter role. You're going to see something pop up. You're probably going to ask to download something. You may have to unmute yourself, so of course we can listen to you. But I'm going to have you grab controls, then we're going to log into your Facebook account as well too. Great question. Fun. And I know we're going to go over a little bit over on time because I covered a lot of stuff, but I will stay on and answer every single question, either until you die of boredom and fall asleep, or you die of excitement. It's great. It always says we're going to be placed in the conference. Always said the call is going to be recorded. So Lou, I can see your screen right now, by the way, which is weird because I just saw another screen, which I thought I saw your ads up, but I can't hear you yet. So by the way, your screen that I see right now is, it's not you, it's them. No content being shared. Okay, there should be a button that you see at the top. That would be to share your screen. Lou, do you see a?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I hear you. Where? Really in the background there. You'd have to speak up.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
No, it's really far back. It's like if you and I were talking, you'd be about 40 feet back.
How about now?
No. Can you? Would you mind try calling in with the phone?
Yeah. Let me try that. Or try this headset.
Yeah, headset would work out really well. Because my voice from the speakers is picked up. See you. All right. I'm not able to hear you, but I did hear that it sounded like you were hooking up some stuff.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can't hear you though.
You can't hear me? Would you happen to have a headset for your? Well, I guess you can't hear me. Let's try. let's try this. Can you try calling into the phone number instead, please? See if that'll work. And then share your screen. Let's see. So Lou's presenting. All right, while Lou's getting all this ready, does anybody else have any other questions that I could answer? Anybody else that wants me to go over their screen as well too? Really happy to help touch buttons. Just type it in or let me know, or unmute yourself and come out and share yourself with the world.
Kurt, can you hear me now?
I can. Did you call in on the phone number?
No, now I can hear you. You can't hear me. Let me try the phone number.
Hang on one second. All right, say it. Go ahead and go again, Lou.
You hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
You
Yeah.
can? Great.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah. Let's try this. I may have you call on the phone number because of the feedback, but let's try it. All right. Can you try sharing your screen now, please? So the phone number 518-682-241 or whatever that is, if you go actually click on the people icon at the top, you can actually right click and then change your name. If you could change your name for me, I'd be able, now I can see your screen, but I'd know who I'm talking to because all I know is it's a number. It says, I don't need to show you anything, but I'd like to discuss your suggested approach to my dilemma. I need to go soon. So if you could change that, I could see your name. Again, that whoever just posted the question, I need to show you anything. All right, so Lou, Ellen. Okay, great. Lou, you were just showing your screen, and then it's not showing your screen now.
How's that?
There you go. There's your screen.
All right. What do you want me to do?
Go ahead and open up. Go to your ad account. I'm going to answer Ellen's question here while you're logging into Facebook into your ad account.
Yeah, I don't have an ad account set up. I've got to set up a page first.
Oh, okay. There's actually a demographic inside the ad account. The people who are currently renting and ready to buy.
Oh, really? Where's that at?
So it's I can't show you if I can't log into your ad account. It's underneath the behaviors. People who are living in an apartment. Sorry, that's why I was going to have you show your screen so I could walk you through it so you could save the audience. But yes, there is underneath behaviors, people who are living in apartments or people who are ready to buy.
Great.
So you can advertise to people who are living in an apartment, hey, I mean, you know some of the whole adage. It's like, did you know that you could own a house for the same amount you're paying for rent? Something like that. Like that's always huge. Do you know your options? So stuff like that. Sorry I made you share your screen. I kind of assumed you had an ad account. I should have asked you that beforehand. Sorry to make you go through all that trouble. I apologize. That was my fault for not asking the right questions.
Okay, so you get people who are living in an apartment, and the other one is people who are going to buy a house. Is that the other one? Or?
Yeah, the Facebook changes all the time, kind of their targeting and what they classify people as. But I know that they have people who are renting, people who are living in houses, people who have bought their second home. So it's underneath the behavior section where you can find home ownership. And it will allow you to select. So then, because of all the other research you've done, you can select the age range, the location, and then people who live in apartments and target those people specifically, or target people who are ready to buy a home.
Great. Thanks.
Does that make sense?
Is there too much text in that ad, or will Facebook allow that? I went over that with Todd, but We didn't.
Yeah, go ahead and.
That.
So, if you want to, for you, if you're about to buy a home in Ohio, that doesn't make any sense to me. That's just the first line. For you, if you're about to buy a home in Ohio. So that first line doesn't make any sense to me. This is the one thing that you must have checked when buying a new home that almost no real estate agent will tell you about. So the question would be, it's good to always ask a question too. Are you ready to buy a home in Ohio? This is the one thing you must have checked when buying a new home almost no real estate agent will tell you about, which is fine. About to buy a new home in Ohio, you need this. That's great. If you don't get this one thing checked, it could cost you thousands of dollars. So Facebook doesn't want any negativity because less people spend time on Facebook when there's negative questions. So without this, it could cost you thousands of dollars. That's something you can have on your landing page, right? Ready to buy something like ready to buy a home in Ohio. Sometimes it's always great to know these basic, simple tips before buying a home. Or what are the 3 tips that everyone should know before buying a home? Or what are the 3 most critical things you should know before you buy a home? So anything that can be positive, yeah, because it could cost you thousands of dollars in expected fees and legal bills just 45 days after you move into your new home. That's kind of more of a scare tactic that Facebook, like this works really well in print ads. This doesn't work very well with what Facebook wants.
So they wouldn't even allow the ad then. They probably wouldn't have.
They may allow the ad, but what they do is, this is the thing that sucks about Facebook, is they're like, well, it doesn't violate compliance, but it violates policy. And you're like, wait a minute, you just said I didn't violate the rules, but the cops would still pull me over? That doesn't make any sense. It's because they want people to have a positive experience. So ready to buy a home in Ohio? Here's one critical thing you must know that almost no real estate agent will tell you. So about to buy a home in Ohio? You need this. Grab my easy checklist to help save you money and maybe even thousands of dollars before you move into your new home. We didn't talk about unexpected fees and legal bills. Help save from unexpected fees could be good. We want to try to make it as positive as possible. Does that help?
Yeah, no, that's helpful. Would it be helpful for you if you saw the landing page it was going to?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me try to, I can get that to you. Let me find something here.
Yeah, just go ahead and open that up in a browser. So about to buy a home in Ohio. I don't know if this will get approved. The reason is there's no terms of use. There's no, I know it's a ClickFunnels template. I know Russell well. The problem with this landing page, if you're going to send Facebook traffic to it, there's no navigation buttons. So like in the old marketing sense, it's, hey, we don't want to have any navigation buttons up here. But with Facebook, you have to. So like, here's our terms of use. Here's how we're going to use your information. So your information is 100% secure, which is great. I would use a different landing page where it would have like the terms of use of your site, how you're going to use your information. About to buy a home, the one thing you must have checked when buying a new home that almost no real estate agent will tell you about. If you do not get this one thing checked, it could cost you thousands of dollars in unexpected fees and legal bills. Maybe. The page itself will run on Facebook for a short time and then most likely get denied because there's no terms of use. There's kind of sort of information how you're going to use the email. You don't really say what's going to happen on the other side, like download your free ebook.
Okay.
You're not really telling the user what's going to happen when they click on that button.
Okay, well, I could change the page and put the terms of use and privacy policy. Is there anything else required of in terms of use and privacy policy? How you,
Yeah, I'd try to make this a little bit more positive and align with your ad. Like download my watch my 2 videos on how I can give you a tip on, download my ebook that basically Facebook wants to know, okay, I read the ad. I know I'm going to get a free ebook when I click on this page. I click on the page. Okay, here's some more information. I know I'm going to get a free ebook. Oh, okay. And if I have any questions, I can go ahead and click on the home page. I can click on the privacy policy. I can click on the terms of use. But they can navigate around and they know exactly what they're going to get.
okay, so then you can't kind of do a 2-step. Like when you hit the
You can do a 2-step, but you're not telling. Yeah, but you're not telling them anything. This is what they call a cloaking ad, because it doesn't tell the user anything about what they're about ready to do or receive.
Okay.
So that's why Facebook doesn't like it, because it looks like what they classify it as, and I know this is going to sound like strong language, they're going to classify it as it's a user trust issue, because you're not telling them anything that what they're going to get or what they're going to see on the next slide.
So you really need one page that maybe has this information, and then also has the opt-in information, tells them what they're going to go to next. Because
yeah, like for example, what Facebook loves is webinars, and here's why. Because hey, show up Thursday, learn these 6 bullet points. We will send you reminders for the webinar on Thursday. Oh, they're going to opt in for a webinar. They're going to get reminders. They're going to learn this. So I'm not saying that you have to run webinars, but it's kind of like that structure, right? All right, I read on the ad, I'm going to get what? I go to the landing page, it's congruent, I'm going to get what? And then from there. Does that make sense?
all right, well, is there, worked on all of this with Todd, is there any way to fix this so it's just one page? You see how when you click the first button, it takes you to this pop-up. You put your email address in, and then when you click on this, yes, tell me now, you're going to go to the video sales letter. So
Yeah, but Facebook will never click this far.
One page.
Yeah, Facebook will never click over to your video. So they'll never enter an email address to like test it, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they don't, but they just never will. It has to be very congruent from the ad to the landing page to what they're going to see, what the entire experience is going to be about. So it would need to be changed to on the next page, by entering your email, find out in a very short video how to, stuff like that.
Okay, can any of the landing page be negative, or everything has to be positive, or they don't?
Usually it has to be all positive, because what happens is the filters will run. They'll look at the ad for a little bit. It'll run for a little bit. But what I tell people is I want to teach them stuff that has long-term scale, that's long-term, predictable, scalable income. This would be, it may work for a little while, but I'm not quite sure when it will get shut off, but it will get shut off.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, I would just add some more. Here's what I would really do. I'd scrap this landing page. I'd look for another landing page that provides some more information, that has some more color and some more detail. Facebook really wants to get away from these exact landing pages right here, since it doesn't really say anything, can't really navigate around anything, don't know what's on the next slide. It looks like a typical internet marketing, let's just grab your information and I'll send you a bunch of spam, which I know is not anything close to what you want to do. But that's the way that they'll treat you, because that's what a lot of these pages look like, that just grab that kind of spam information. So that's why I mentioned before early on that Facebook does modeling. So even though it's not your fault that like you designed this page and it's worked historically, Facebook lumps this in with spam advertising.
Okay. So when they put their email address in and then hit the other button, they go to a VSL, and the most wanted result from the VSL is they just call me. So, but they're not going to look at all these steps, as you said. They're just going to look at it on the face of a landing page.
Yep. I mean, here's the thing: is at the end of the day, when you're really targeting your avatar and your landing page is very congruent with your ad and targeting your avatar, what happens is when they're on the landing page, you have a much higher opt-in rate because it's very congruent the entire way on through. And that's what Facebook wants people to do, is to click on your ad, come to this page, and they want them to opt in because it shows Facebook that it's highly relevant. So if you have a conversion pixel on the opt-in and Facebook sees that firing on a regular basis, they're going to feel that your funnel is congruent to their audience.
Well, it's, yeah, Todd went through that with me. It's all congruent, but it's negative too. So that's
Yeah.
what the problem is.
That's the yeah. It's negative. It doesn't have the right navigation, and it's too short.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right.
So like,
Very
so
much.
just to be clear, on the Todd side, this will convert. On the Facebook side, they won't allow it much for very long.
Right. Yeah, well, it was designed for testing with Facebook, so we'll have to make some changes to it.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I wish I had better news for you.
Thanks.
Yep. All right. I'm going to take back over control here. Ellen. Sorry, I know you had to get going here pretty soon. Are you still there? You can go ahead and unmute.
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, awesome, awesome.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yay.
Great.
Okay, wonderful.
Do you want me to hand you control of the screen, or you said you just want to ask this audio?
Yeah, there's nothing I need to show you.
Okay.
I've been talking with Todd for some time about my dilemma, which is that my work has to do with, it's kind of interesting, it's related a bit to Peggy's, but I focus specifically on sex and intimacy, and my ideal market is couples. However, of course, as you know, Facebook doesn't allow anything that has those terms in it. I don't know about intimacy,
Yep.
but anyway, we've been talking about how to get through this without really diluting what I do. I mean, if I just start with romance, people could be misled to what I'm actually offering. I have a few things. One is I have a course coming up, actually, that I'll be doing with webinars, and I'd like to try this with Facebook after we test that funnel, but it's on intimate communication, and the subtitle is currently, for the rest of the world except Facebook, it's intimate communication, how to tell each other what you really want in bed to build trust and intimacy instead of embarrassment and rejection, and satisfy your deepest desires. I also have a sort of lead product, which is music for lovemaking infused with auditory pheromones, which has all kinds of benefits for lovemaking.
Right.
And is the echo a problem?
No, I don't know if there's someone that's not muted out. I'm okay.
Okay, great. So my question is, what can you tell me about approaches I might take, or I'd like to try Facebook. I don't want to give up on it totally.
Yeah, it's so I'm in a mastermind with some other people as well who are in this exact same niche, and she's given up on Facebook. What is her name? I can't think off the top of my head.
Oh,
Let me know her. She just had a
Nadine, Karen, Susan Bratton.
Susan Bratton. Susan Bratton is exactly what I'm talking about. Yes.
Now she's much more focused on explicit sexuality than I am. I know Susan quite well.
Yes. She's like, will this work? I want to teach women how to. And I go, no. Even saying that in public, typically, no. I'm like, that doesn't work. So
I know what she's talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Yep, exactly. So you know, the thing is so Susan runs, of course, all of her stuff through affiliates, right? So on one side it's affiliates. On the other
she also advertises, but yeah.
Right, but not on Facebook. She'll advertise on other sites, right? So,
I don't know exactly. I know they're looking for advertising opportunities. I don't know what they're actually doing.
Okay. Yeah, I just spent time with them. We were just in Vegas together 3 weeks ago.
Oh, really? When they were doing their Steamy Sex Ed promo, huh?
Yeah, we were in a mastermind together, and they came out there, and at the same time decided to run their launch from Vegas as well too.
Right.
So the thing is well, let me give you an example. There's another dating coach friend of mine. His name's Adam Lyons, and Adam teaches how to pick up girls, really how to pick up girls, and some sexual talk as well too. But his lead-in is body language. How to help read attraction in body language. Now that gets people onto a webinar that he does, and then he starts to lead in, because once they opt in, Facebook's not checking, right? The question comes down to like the language that you used that said, okay, how do I get this and not water it down, right? It's going to have to be watered down for Facebook, but the big question from my mind comes, if you water it down too much, will they not be interested in opt out? You know, when you send your next email about, hey, I have an upcoming webinar or a special. I wonder having something like how to hold romantic and intimate conversations with your partner, period.
But now would that flop?
It may. You know, you gotta test. The thing is, you gotta test what happens on the landing page. Now, the landing page could just be like a happy couple holding hands, and you know, help improve your conversations, help improve your romance and intimacy conversations with your partner. Click here for 4 easy tips in a video that shows you how to. Like, that could be great. Sometimes it's just changing the language just a little bit. And a picture can be worth 1,000 words, obviously. But the picture could just be 2 people smiling, looking at each other with those I love you eyes. Versus like a girl dressed really sexy, like, you know, that says, hey, come here, kind of with her finger, and says, hey, you know, come over here. So what Facebook doesn't want is sexually explicit ads, but Facebook allows communication. Now, for example, they do not.
I'm so glad they allow communication.
They are very strict on dating ads, but like you can only run like 4 or 5 major dating websites. And you can't really talk about dating tips, but you can talk about communication tips. And you and I both know that communication is really important for dating. So how to communicate with a new partner? Well, that could be how to pick up a new date, right? How to find that right mate with the right communication, or how to use the best pickup lines, right? So sometimes it's just changing a little bit to get the opt-in, and then really looking at your funnel, and I would say thinking of 2 things. Okay, I got a bunch of people to opt in. Number 1, can I sell them the first product that you were talking about? Number 2, is there another product that you have or an affiliate product that could fill in the blank for what you mentioned in your ad? Again, I would lead with your product, but I would also think of, okay, I may have diluted that a little bit too much, but is there anything else that I can offer them to also make up my money for my ad? So I'd get them in the funnel and then either sort them by like a survey, or sort them in your funnel for the different events that they attend. You know, whether it be a webinar or go to a VSL or whatever. What do you use to run your stuff? Is it like Aweber, Infusionsoft?
Infusionsoft.
Infusionsoft. So if you wanted to, you know, you could get people to opt in, and as soon as they opt in, they get a free report or whatever, and then you send them a short survey. So it'll tag them into what segment you want to send them into. Communication's great, but let me ask you this. Do you want to communicate with your new partner? Do you want to find out how to have better conversations in bed? Like, that could be one of your first emails that come out that they segment themselves with, and then you automatically segment them to the products that would work the best for them.
Okay, so as you're talking, one thing that I was advised yesterday, not by anybody, not by Todd, but this music I mentioned, infused with auditory pheromones, there's 2 versions. One is for everyday use. It's the same music, but a different formulation of resonant frequencies in it. And it was suggested maybe I should sell that one separately, because it does, one effect that is repeatedly reported is that it helps people communicate more easily about sex and intimacy, but about anything, of course. So it could be, you know, music that helps you, music that supports intimate communication, or another product that I haven't developed, but it's a little sort of tripwire. It would be actually a splinter product from Ryan Deiss's term. It'd be a few tracks out of one guided experience CD I have, which I'm calling 13 Minutes to Intimacy. And it's really a guided experience with a couple, and it really takes them to a deeply intimate state without even touching, actually, or talking. And it's not sexual. That part, those 13 minutes are not sexual. So that's something I was thinking might be a lead in for Facebook. But because you can talk about communication, you can use intimacy, because, and that's a question, women will, I have one friend who's a coach, and she said if you ask a woman how her intimate life is, she thinks of emotional intimacy. And if you ask a man how his intimate life is, he thinks of his sex life. So I don't know who's making these decisions in Facebook, but if it's a man, they might think that intimacy means sex.
See, this is the big problem that I have with Facebook. Like, this is one of the things that I get livid about. So, for instance, we had somebody tell us once, they're like, look, Kurt, your copy is really good for your ads. The problem is that's the same copy that has been used by scammers and spammers to sell illegal stuff. And I'm like, but this is copy that we've been trained on that has worked for 100+ years in this type of psychology. They're like, yeah, but the filters, the AI, the artificial intelligence, looks at these words and groups them into categories that typically don't have good ads on Facebook. And I'm like, but wait a minute. Look at my business. We have a very low refund rate. Our customers love us. And this is why I kind of mentioned very early on in my presentation. And they go, Kurt, we don't have time to look at your business model. And I go, let me get this straight. You're going to judge me based off the words that I use because some spammer, and then this person interrupted me, and they go, look, some of the same words that you were using would be used to sell child porn. And I'm like, I sell Facebook ads. I'm like, there has to be logic here. They're like, we don't have time to look into business models. And I'm thinking, I feel like I'm having a conversation with a 6-year-old that they just don't understand, right?
Almost like a robot. Yeah, or a robot. You were actually talking to a Facebook person though, right? They were actually, you could actually speak to somebody.
Yeah, that's a whole long, interesting situation just in that one thing alone. I mean, like we've written hundreds of support tickets. We've gone to live events dressed in T-shirts, asking questions. Like it's like a needle in a haystack, and you have to listen to what they say, what they don't say. Like getting a Facebook. I've worked for years to work with a dedicated rep. I have never met, and I've asked lawyers this, I've asked other people, and I'll ask everybody that's still left on this call, which is, what business do you know that you can spend $6 million with? So for instance, last year, we easily spent $6 million. So hang on, 1, 2, 3, that's 6,000, 1, 2, 3, that's 600,000. That's 6 million divided by 12. So we spent 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That we did not spend 5 million. Hang on a second. Sorry. 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 divided by 12. There we go. So we would spend. That's not even right. I don't know why I can't figure out 6 million divided by 12. It just does not come out. It comes out as 5 million. I know it's not right. I don't know any other place where you can spend $6 million in a year and not get a phone call. Right?
Oh my God! Right, of course. It is insane, and yet you have to keep spending it because there's so many benefits.
Yeah. Sorry, it's 500,000 a month. I don't know why I couldn't do that easy math. I mean, I don't know any other business, trucking companies, automobile companies. I mean, even if you were spending 500,000 a month buying real estate, they would cart you around because you're buying a house or a couple of houses a month.
You know, this actually reminds me, you were saying earlier on the call that Google, of course, is different than Facebook, and that Facebook is interruptive advertising. And
yes.
The benefit you get from Facebook is that you can actually tweak things so quickly and so effectively. Does that lead you to, did I have that part right?
Yes, correct.
So then does that inform the ads you put on Google or not, because it's a different kind of advertising?
Different kind of advertising. Yeah. I mean, like, I think of your stuff, for example, of like Plenty of Fish, advertising on that site, or advertising on other sites that frankly talk about sexually explicit things. It's just,
yeah, I can do some. Yeah, what?
The Facebook's easy and sexy to get up and running, but sometimes, like in your niche, sometimes it's figuring out, okay, did I delete the message did I dilute the message too much? Is it, wait a minute, how does this work and there's a lot more guessing than what you could do like on Plenty of Fish and some of the other sites. I mean, sometimes honestly, it's even for me. It's like, I mess around with Facebook so much and get very little support. Why in the hell do I run so many ads on Facebook? Because I'll tell you the truth, like We ran $100 on Twitter, and we got a rep that called us. Well, that's weird. We ran we may have a problem here, but that's fine. We ran $100 on Google and got somebody to call us. We ran $100 on Bing and got someone to call us. So yeah,
why do you keep running on Facebook?
I don't know. Kind of like those relationships that it's kind of good, but you really can't.
You just can't give it up. You can't quit it. Okay, so, but I guess my bottom line question is, do you know offhand whether the term intimacy or intimate conversations or how to improve your intimate connection, if those kinds of terms would be potential to get through?
Something that I think would be interesting to test was kind of what you said about women, how to find intimacy. Many women define intimacy by their emotional connection with their partner. Here's some great music to establish that a deeper emotional connection with your partner. So you clearly define that intimacy does not have to be about sex. Now, notice I didn't say what the guy said. I just said many women define intimacy as, and I have some bad news, unfortunately. When my computer rebooted, my recording did not pop up. So, half this, my first part of the presentation works, but some of these questions, unfortunately, they're not going to be recorded.
Oh, too bad. Okay.
I just looked at my screen, and there's 2 recording buttons that are supposed to flash, and I'm like, I don't see any blinking lights.
Okay. But I like that idea because it would actually appeal to both genders, because men who are interested in getting their...
I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because men want to understand how women think, right?
Yeah, so you said women define intimacy as emotional connection with their partner, but where were you taking here?
Learn how to establish a better connection with your partner through music.
I love it.
When I tell people, just to be clear, is it's like, I don't tell people, hey, look, here's how you get around the rules. It's more about, well, what does Facebook really want? And honestly, I want what's long-term and scalable with Facebook and an easy way and a safe way that I can connect with my avatar. And that's it. So we're just trying to find out easy, connected ways that'll help.
Cool. Okay. And then I could actually do something along those lines for this guided experience, this 13 minutes to intimacy, which would ultimately be a paid program, but a low-cost tripwire kind of price range.
Yeah.
But do you find it useful to go directly to an opt-in for something to sell or not? Is it much better to go for the...
Say that one more time for me.
Well, I'm just trying to think if I need to create a new freebie that doesn't have any sexuality terms in it. Like I've got this very popular ebook, but it's called Beyond Orgasm.
But remember, they're not going to download the ebook. You just can't say what the name of the ebook is. So really,
on the landing page, you can't say it, right?
Right, correct. So anything they see on the ad or the landing page, right. So for instance, like what I tell people is find out an ad that's congruent with your landing page, and once you get people to opt in, you can send them whatever you want. So what happens is like I figure out for our stuff, how do I get as many opt-ins as possible that would be qualified for some type of offer on my list? I know it's going to have to be diluted a little bit, but I'd rather have 300 leads versus 10 leads, right? Because there's affiliate offers, there's other offers, and especially if you have infusion, you can ask them qualifying questions to know what other offers that you should send them. So, yeah, I look for more of, hey, what can I create that may just be about women and men communication, communicate better with your partner, talk about things that you feel uncomfortable to talk about. Something like make uncomfortable conversations easier with these 3 simple tips.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you really think outside the box of these things, yeah.
I mean, here's the thing that we built our business on. besides all of my misspellings and everything else, is what I've really found out more than anything is I don't even think I'm a presenter anymore, so I don't know how many people are still here, but I'm happy to answer questions as long as people are here. People don't care about the details; they only care about the story. So let me give you a perfect.
Yeah, where do you put a story in this? I'm not clear on how to do that.
Well, see, but here's my point. So I'm gonna tell you the details, then I'm gonna tell you a story. Okay, here are the details. So I'm in Stockton, California, giving a speech for a group of about 40 people. We all chip in, we all get a limo. I go upstairs, I start working. I get very focused in my work, and sometimes time flies by. I don't realize it. They had already left anyway. So limo's gone. They're not, like, they're just not around, right? I go outside, limo's not there. I call one of my buddies. My buddies is like, hey, Kurt, we're like 10 blocks away. I'll just send the limo to come get you. The limo comes, they get me, I'm by myself. I go to the restaurant and I meet everybody. Stupid story, right?
Right.
But what I post on Facebook is a picture of me inside the limo that says, in Stockton, California, giving another speech, riding in the limo to dinner. I love this. And people, like, I had people call me and say, oh my goodness, you're riding in limos, people are taking care of you, like, you're doing all this stuff, you're speaking all the time. I didn't lie, I didn't say any of this. It's whatever story they wanted to make up in their mind is so much better than what I can say.
Oh, the story, you're talking about the story in their mind.
Yes. So like what I tell,
okay.
Yeah, so like what I tell people, and I go, here's the perfect analogy, and almost everyone, whether they've seen the movie or not, they know what I'm talking about. Alfred Hitchcock, Psycho, guy comes up to kill the girl in the shower, you hear the music, you see the knife come up, you see the shadow, you never see him stab the girl in the shower, ever.
Right.
Because your mind will make up more than what any director can give. So what I always figure is, how can I say less and have the mind make up more? That's it.
Yeah. Boy, I don't really have that. I don't think I've got that talent, but it's definitely one to be acquired.
Well, it's for example, is, you know, just kind of an idea, is like on my business card when I go meet people at networking events, because a lot of our business is referral only. I always give this example. I go, yeah, our company's referral only. We work with celebrities, reality TV stars, professional sports teams, speakers, authors, best-selling authors, even large and small businesses. So from what I just said right there, do I make, in your opinion, do I make a little money or a lot of money?
Right.
Do I have a successful agency or a non-successful agency? Am I good at what I do? Am I not good at what I do? I didn't say any of those things, but whatever your mind's going to make up for those words that I just used is going to be much more powerful than me saying what I actually do.
And the critical thing is at the end you say even large and small businesses, which enables, because otherwise the person's going to say, oh, they're not for me because they're only for big, you know, huge rich people and celebrities. But then when you say even small businesses, oh, he's accessible. So that does say a lot, yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is I used to have a business card that it would say Black Box Social Media on it. Right. And then when I would give that line, they would look at me and they're like, oh, I don't think I can afford your services. And I would turn the card over and I go, well, we created a digital product where we recorded everything that's successful, what we do, so you can push all your own buttons if you would like to save money. And that's how I sold my digital product and got in the digital product world. Cool. Because people wouldn't pay us $2,500 a month, but they would pay us $597 to learn what we did.
Absolutely. No, that's excellent. So this is very good. Yeah. And then what Todd was suggesting, maybe I just need to test a couple of, you know, just give it a shot. And if I get an account shut down, I mean, don't do a lot with it. Just get started. But I have been retargeting I put retargeting pixels on my site a couple months ago.
That's great.
So we got something going. So yeah, I thank you very much. And you're going to be doing this again, you said, in about a month?
Let me tell you, I'll tell you exactly because I'm looking up on here. Yeah, I don't think I logged underneath the, yeah, I think I screwed this up. I don't think I logged underneath the administrator, so I don't even know if I can take this back over control from. Lou, if you're still here, can you make me admin or presenter? I don't know if you're able to do that or not, or who's all on, because I don't think I entered the waiting for the presenter. I would be what you call the presenter. So Yeah, this whole join me thing, we're gonna figure that one out later.
Yeah, I can't even type into the message box anymore.
Yeah, I can't either. Maybe it's just you and I hanging out here. Maybe everybody else is like, I don't know what.
Me? Wow.
Is there any? Here, let me tell you when I'm going to be here. Is there anybody else that can take themselves off mute? Let us know if you're still here. Is it just Ellen and myself?
I'm here.
So who's I'm?
I'm Selma. Hello.
Hey Selma, how are you?
Fine.
All right. Do you have any questions or anything else that I'm kind of letting you know when?
Actually, yes. It's like a 5 minutes question. It's not that long. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. But I don't know how. I would like to show you
very much.
You're welcome. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll let you all know when we're going to do our next one too. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah. The thing is, I'm running the ad for the Facebook on the trading side. But
yes.
yes, the thing is, I really would like to show you the results, but I cannot access the. I don't know. I can't even access the chat. So I don't know. What should I do?
Okay, let me think about this for a second. So I should do this quote, copy the link. Let me see what my options are here real quick. Let me see if I can.
Sure.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out and I'm going to try to log back in as the administrator. Okay, I'm going to see if that works because I think what happened is the following. I think Lou, I made him presenter, and then I think Lou left. This is going to be great because Todd and Damon are going to be like, hey, how'd the recording go? Well, we don't have a recording because my computer crashed, and then we tried to figure out how to do this, and we did a screen share. But then Lou left, and he was the presenter. So I like to tell people, I'm like, I always say this. They're like, Kurt, what do you think about my funnel? And I'm like, honestly, let's just screw stuff up so we figure it the first time, and then it gives us something to do, which is called fixing it. So I'm in the process of fixing it so we can figure out, hang on, let me see here real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is you're not going to hear from me for a second, and then I'm going to try to join me and log in any Damon's account to see if this will boot back up. Let me see how that works, okay?
If we disconnect, do I try again?
Yes.
Okay.
If we disconnect, yes, try again. Because I did get a message from Damon who said, hey, Kurt, it's maybe because it went over 3 hours. And I'm like, I got to figure that one out. So I'm going to try to log in.
Okay, I wait.
Okay, yeah, wait. Just use your personal link. Let's just see. Hang on, this may work. I'll be right back. Move me to my applications folder.
I still can hear you. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.